Hello! Welcome to the D&D
There we go.
Elyssia stream.
Hi.
Normally Brendan would say hello, but his mic was muted, so he asked
for whatever
me.
reason, everything after I reset my computer last night decided, hey, we're going to go to default, which apparently isn't my microphone. So I had to go fix that.
He had some really funky settings when he came on. So
Yeah.
welcome. Sorry
fun.
we're like a little late. We were discussing some things. As some news, we may have a special treat for everyone in the near future. We're still working that out. Maybe an extra session, but no 100% official word on. Hello, I'm your Dungeon Master, Ethan. I'm here with all of the good chillins like I normally am. We got Brendan, who's the Stream Master,
Hello.
Eric, Matt, Nerdy,
Yeah.
and Nick. If you've been with us this long, you know us, you love us. You're like the 4 people that watch us. We love you all the same. So welcome back to the, I believe, 16th episode of our Elyssia stream.
I can double check that, but I believe
it's either the 16th or the 17th.
Let me swap my account.
90th.
Yeah, it's episode 32, actually.
We're going to be there one day.
I wish it was episode 90.
What you guys didn't know is I was, this entire time, I've actually been doing it on my own in the background. We are on number 15, I believe.
Episode 100 of the Elyssia campaign will be done from Nick's hot tub.
Yeah, hot tub stream.
The last session we had was the seance.
It was the seance.
Which was
that 14?
Stream 14.
All right, we are on episode 15 then. So anyone who's stuck with us through 15 episodes and has not gotten bored or written terrible things on Reddit about the DM of this stream, I appreciate you and I love you. Thank you for
D&D horror stories.
Exactly. If you've posted on D&D horror stories about this campaign you're not a part of, I apologize, but I'm glad that you have. I'm glad that you've joined us again. We're going to kick things off pretty quick here, I think, just because we're a little late. But I did want to make an announcement of our spin-off game, Elyssia Babies. It's the new D&D campaign where we all play baby versions of our characters in a jungle gym / playground version of Elyssia. So if you want to see baby Chick Sentinel, you can see it. If you want to see baby Darian and his baby romantic relationship with Aster, which includes hand-holding and giving worm cakes to each other, that's there for you. D&D Elyssia
Would Aster even
Babies.
be alive at that point?
Would what even be alive?
Would Aster even be alive when Darian's a child?
She's a fairy. I mean,
fairies probably get old
long enough.
Yeah, fairies get old.
Yeah,
anything can happen in Elyssia Babies.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's
exactly. Baby Arthur, who's a diaper pirate. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff.
Diaper pirate.
It's like Rugrats, but with our characters instead.
But Dungeons and Dragons.
But ultimately more violent.
That'd be an interesting campaign to run. Run Rugrats, the campaign. That'd be so fun.
Sentinel is an egg with the legs that pop out.
He's just Togepi.
Sentinel just wears the bottom half of his egg as a diaper.
Yeah.
Chucky was
little Dr. Watts.
Doctor Who. He has a screwdriver and he's got the planet on his t-shirt. So he's
I always
basically
thought Chucky was modeled after the horror icon Chucky because he's got like the red hair and his name is Chucky.
Might be an amalgamation, but he's if you look into it, he actually is modeled after Doctor Who.
If you read about adults who come up with like characters and stuff, they have some effed up, they've got some screwed up stuff going on. It's gonna be a wholesome stream tonight, everyone. I'm 2 glasses of wine in. I had Dragon's Milk White, and I'm currently on this amber beer that I got from Aldi's. That's very good. I drink Aldi's beer. I'm a big boy. So it's gonna be a fun stream tonight.
You just made a comment about adults making characters, and that's literally everybody in this stream right now. So I just wanted to let you know.
All of us are adults, and we all made characters.
That is true. Hell, I made
multiple characters.
Part of this world. So, why don't we go over to our sponsors? But Nerdy, I'm going to ask you if we can do like the fast version of our sponsors.
I'm only doing one sponsor tonight because it's the only thing that matters.
All right.
Today, we are sponsored by all the things we're normally sponsored by, as always. But the sponsor that gets a highlight today is Disney Pixar with their new film that's coming out later that's called Rollin' with Miss Daisy. And it's about a racist old woman who gets a black DM and their slow campaign towards friendship and acceptance. Rolling Miss Daisy.
That's awesome.
Wholesome episode.
That is an Oscar winner right there, if I've ever
Yes.
seen one.
Honestly,
Coming
it's got
to
all
a
the elements of
theater
an
near
Oscar.
you this Christmas season, and also this Kwanzaa season.
Merry Kwanzaa, everyone.
Holiday season.
Who knows?
Nope.
Maybe we'll have.
Nope.
I haven't thought
Just
about it
those
yet,
two.
but maybe
Just
we'll have
those
a
two.
holiday. Well, maybe
Not
we'll
the
have a holiday
Hanukkah season,
special D&D
not the
session.
Rosh Hashanah season.
Starring
Just
Cloris
Christmas
Leachman,
and Kwanzaa.
Shambling Corpse, and Chris Rock.
Yeah.
And Chris Rock. Chadwick Bose. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry.
No, he's
Wrong actor.
Well, I already
passed
said Cloris
away.
Leachman, and Cloris Leachman passed away. So
Yeah, I was gonna say he passed away. Man, who's Don Cheadle? He was the other Marvel.
He's still alive.
Emmy
thinking of
Award
him, sorry.
nominated Don Cheadle. Emmy Award.
Emmy Award nominated Don
He was
Cheadle.
nominated for his cameo in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was like 2 seconds long.
Didn't he win an Oscar or an award for Hotel Rwanda too?
Yes, yeah, but it's more important that you note that he was Emmy nominated for his 5-second cameo in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
All right, well, perfect. I'm glad about that.
Award shows are a scam.
Sorry, I'm too many beers in to think about who actors' names are. All I care about is the Elyssia actors that we've got. So now that we have our sponsors done and we can jump into the campaign, as a heads up to everyone, the Packers are playing the Detroit Lions. If you haven't realized, this stream is from Michigan. I'm a Lions fan. Yes, I do like it up the ass. I am a Lions fan. So,
oh my word.
Yep,
Sports ball is a thing that exists.
That soundbite is out in the air now. That is
on the internet, and anyone can do with that.
It is.
They can do whatever they
Somebody
want.
clip it. Somebody clip it.
No,
and
I've already clipped it.
I don't know when this stream will go to, but I do want to catch the tail end of the game because I want to see us just get eviscerated by Aaron Rodgers because he had a shit game last week, and I have a feeling he's going to come out with a burning vengeance this week. So
we're going to end promptly.
Because I was asked a couple times if we were still playing tonight because of the Lions, and I was like, yes, but regretfully because we've missed like 3 weeks in a row, basically. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get some music going. So Brendan, if you want to, in a second, unmute the bot because I believe we're playing copyrighted music, and that's.
I'm not actually sure. I know the lo-fi stuff tends to be okay. But...
That should make that work. So beautiful. Why is the bot sending me messages? We have a new bot. I would like to have a special memorial before you quit real quick. No, Bardo the Handicap was our lovely bard for 2 years before we even streamed. Wonderful bard. Unfortunately, the kingdom of YouTube waged war against his people and slaughtered them in a horrible battle that was completely one-sided because, you know, YouTube has the best warriors and the little guy cannot survive against them. So Bardo was slain and sent to the great Bard College in the sky. He is no longer a bard. Now we have Todd the Bitch, who is our new bard, and I have to get used to his stylings as a bard. So I apologize if there is any music interruptions. Because I have to coach Todd on how to act in our streams. So continuing on with the Elyssia stream, which again, I appreciate everyone who watched last week. We did a little fun tier ranking of pizza and 5e classes. But 2 weeks ago is when our official last stream happened, and the party had a seance with a ghost. It is 2 weeks ago.
Might have been longer.
I think it was 3.
It might be.
I think it was 3 because I think we skipped last 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I would say it's technically. I think 3 if you really. I guess I was thinking 2 weeks we were up, but technically 3 weeks ago, the party got with Remy, who turned out to be a ghost whisperer.
Yes.
To talk with Lif, the ghost, who was haunting the Zafar Inn. Had a very interesting conversation with Lif, learned a little bit about him. Seems his wife murdered him. He's looking to reconnect with his daughter and be properly buried. But kind of a little more interesting is Lif's ghost targeted Arthur White with a whole bunch of accusations and words that essentially put Arthur on the spot for past deeds that not a lot of people know about in this party right now. We had a beautiful scene afterwards between Jamie and Arthur. Some great words, gave them both DM inspiration for that. But ultimately, from the seance, they have a idea of what to do with Lif and how to either exercise him or, do whatever they want with him. After that, Sentinel, I believe Arthur and Darian, because I don't think Jamie and Darby went with this, headed off to the town square with Nugs to do some street sweeping, the most honorable job that you can have in Highwater. Because wouldn't you know that street sweeping is the most honorable high-watering job you can have. During their street sweep, they encountered some big, nasty bugs, these carrion crawlers that attacked them. Did quite a number on Sentinel, but no one went down in the party. They managed to deal with the 2 beasts, and they made a big whopping 8 silver. And the only reason I know that is I had to go back and watch part of last week's episode, or the last time he played episode, because it was 2 weeks, and I didn't 100% remember what we did.
I vaguely remembered everything.
Professional 2-year DM, folks. That's life right there. So yeah, the Arthur, Darian, and Sentinel did this. While they were doing that, Darby and Jamie were back at the Zafar Inn, where Elise popped up and was like, hey, we're running this very cool kids capture the flag game that like all these little orphan gangs do around Highwater. And we all cheat. So if all you grown-ups would like to come and help us out, that would be uber cool of you guys. Jamie was kind of like, yo, we got like 100 side quests. We have a Skyrim-sized dictionary of side quests to do right now. So we'll see if we can fit you in today, but not guaranteed. And that was pretty much where the session ended last time we played. I keep saying yesterday or last week, but that's not the case. So to make things simple, we are going to say that the next day has started. As a concept or as an idea for everyone, I will say that it has been 5 days now. Or not say, but it has been 5 days now since you hired the 2 dwarf masons to fix up the Zafar Inn of their 12-day schedule. Just to give you an idea of where your remodeling is coming on your inn. And with that, we will go ahead and start the session tonight. Because it is a new day, all of you have had a fairly decent rest. The 2 masons have done an excellent job of fixing up the first and second floors, giving them a much more homey and cozy feel than the upper floors, which they still plan to work on in the coming days. We're talking new wood, new varnishing, even new like moldings and struts and stuff to hold the building. Very excellent craftsmanship. While you are down in the tap room and in the second floor where there are a few rooms for the inn, you are quite impressed with their handiwork, and you are foreseeing that the Zafar Inn is going to become an impressive inn amongst the Highwater tavern craft.
Good. That's nice.
So you all awaken today, and it is a bright, early, sunny day here in Highwater. No looks of clouds or rain in sight, so it should be perfect for whatever you wish to do. I believe Arthur should have a pretty well-recorded ledger of the tasks that is at hand for the group.
I do.
One of my
as a matter of
tasks
fact,
was rain collecting, and apparently that's not happening today.
Wow.
One of my tasks was cloud watching.
500 gold remaining to pay off the repair for the inn for the
Which we do have.
I believe you've already done that.
We paid it off in total. I believe
we paid the first
installment
half,
of 500 gold.
We haven't
have the
actually
second half.
paid
We haven't paid them.
believe-
We've gotten the money, but we haven't actually paid them
You
yet.
did that earlier after you raided Wash's. Okay, you have to pay them at the end, but you do have the money.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe they want the money. They want the money at the end. So that
They
would
want the
make
money on
sense.
completion.
Yes. We met with the Servants Guild, and he gave us some information about it would be 50 gold to join, and then for the first 10 days, and then 100 GP membership fee after that.
Or he'll
We
waive
still
it
need to
if
meet
we
with the
find
Brewers
someone.
Guild, the Butchers Guild, and the Fellowship of Innkeepers to make this an actual suitable inn in total. As far as other side things we've heard about, we've been told by multiple people now to meet with Commander Cromley for the Citizen Militia, as he has something that we might be interested in trying to do for a little extra cash. And then we were also instructed to meet with Governor Core, as maybe a way to either get discounts or an easier time meeting with these guilds. Meeting with Governor Core also kind of links into another quest we were given by the Servants Guild, the Master of the Servants Guild, which apparently somebody who worked for the Servants Guild, who was sent to work for Governor Core, was on a secret mission to spy on the underbelly of the city. And she went missing. And he kind of gave us the task and would... I'm not sure if he'd waive the fee or give us a discount to the Servants Guild.
I think it was he would waive the fee
if we found
her. Or at least found out what happened to her.
Yep.
But that would require us to get
1 second.
in a little bit of trouble with the crime law.
I think that's a good...
I think it's
that's not a bad idea. I mean,
yeah, that's a good
Maxine,
starting
Maxine
spot
is her
because
name.
it gives us the relationship with the governor to get discounts. It also gets us a huge discount by getting some fees wiped, and we have 7 more days until the dwarves are done, and we owe 500 gold. So
we have the 500.
If we need to make up some more, yeah, we have.
And then I do remember somebody mentioning that Governor Core is like super like. I don't say lenient, but he's not as aggressively racist as everybody else in this town who's in authority. And he seems to know a bunch of people. So he might actually know who Lift's daughter is. Because that's one other thing that Lift wanted us to do was talk to his daughter and let her know what happened to him.
As a side note, have we, in the few days that have passed, have we buried his body?
You have not yet, but I believe...
we do have to do that.
Yes, we have to bury it if we want his ghost to go on.
Yes, I believe you learned it was under the stairs in your cellar.
Yes, and he wants to be buried out behind the tavern because that's where the goddess's light faces. So he wants to be able to see the sunset.
And I was like, I don't care about what he wants. I'm not fulfilling the last
I
rites
can't say
of the
I
race.
particularly do either, but I don't
just
want
don't
a
want
ghost
an
in the
asshole
tavern.
ghost.
Yeah.
I mean, we could also just get an exorcist and then get rid of that person.
That's
It
a lot of
seems
money,
like
though.
way less effort
Right,
just to
yes.
dig up his body.
Jamie, as much as I appreciate where you're going with it, I could use the good karma. So I'll if you don't want to partake, by all means, I'll dig up the body and move it. It's
Yeah, like you do that because I'm not.
not something I haven't done. I've done much dirtier, so no worries.
I mean, if you want, you can pee on his grave after. But
Now that I'll take you up on.
I don't plan on pissing on anyone's grave.
I get
anytime
pee
soon.
shy in public, so I can't. But I'll let you guys do that.
All right, then.
All right, so before we leave, I guess Arthur's just gonna grab a shovel, maybe from one of the masons who's working on it, anything left over if there is one.
The inn definitely comes with a set of tools, so I would say you have a shovel amongst that set.
And as part of his self-imposed penance, and kind of to avoid any further conversation of what happened the other night, Arthur will go downstairs and begin digging.
All right, so Arthur, you head on downstairs to where Liff told you his body was, which was right under the stairs. I should say it's not really stairs; it's more like a ladder you climb down, but it's pretty steep. So you half like climb down, half walk down. It's kind of an odd thing.
As I say, having buried a body before, I'll kind of study the ground to kind of see what looks like it was. Obviously, it wasn't recently disturbed because I think he died 20 years. Yeah, he's been dead for 20 years. So obviously, it's not recently disturbed, but something that looks like it'd be a mound for a body if someone was trying to hide
so
it.
after some looking, where obviously the cobblestone that was put down into the basement has been disturbed, you do find a patch where the cobblestone is broken and desecrated, where you can assume, and like Liv said, this is right underneath where those stairs/ladder thing kind of is.
I'm actually gonna accompany Arthur in this adventure. I'm not gonna say too much. I'm just gonna.
Are you gonna assist him in unearthing the body?
Yes.
All right. So with Darian and Arthur assisting each other, they begin to dig up the ground. And they go fairly deep into the earth. Obviously, someone broke up this cobblestone and dug quite far down, where they encounter the jagged remains of a skeleton, mostly decomposed. Obviously, all flesh, muscle, organs, those things have all been lost in the last 20 years, but they have found the remains of what appears to be an elven skeleton. How you can tell is their rib cage has a slight difference to it than a standard human rib cage does.
Is there a burlap sack? And because this is like the cellar area, is there some sort of knapsack or barrel or something
Tons of
we
them.
can
Tons of
I
them.
was
You
gonna say, I'm
get
gonna
a
empty
barrel. You
one.
can get anything you want down here. It's down here.
I'm
I would
gonna
feel like
empty one, and
emptying
I'm
one
not-
is not necessarily needed. I'm not going for the empty.
Well, if there is an empty one, I'll take an empty one. But I was just
There,
saying,
nothing in this inn. There's nothing in this inn right now. There's no food, no wine,
Yeah.
anything. Everything is empty. If you
something
did
gets
find
the
any
back off me,
wine
take the
or
body.
ale, if it was in any barrels, it will have long since spoiled because it has not been well taken care of.
As I'm kind of grabbing the pieces of what remain of Liff and putting them into this knapsack, I'm going to kind of look over at Darian and just kind of give him a nod and say, as someone who probably didn't, how do I say this? As someone who's bit off a little bit more than they can chew hanging out with me, I want to apologize for the other night. It's, there may be more of that to come, and if things get a little too dangerous from hanging out with me, I understand.
Hey man, not everybody's doing the actions of their past. So I like who you are today. And what you did previously, I don't know about it and I don't care.
Well, if you did, I'm sure you would. I'm just gonna go back to putting the body back in the bag. And
So, Arthur, you don't recover an entire body. You recover a partial body. It consists of a femur, a few rib bones, a skull, obviously, and what looks to be maybe a piece of a hand. Where the rest of Lift's body is a mystery at this point, but you've recovered enough that you believe that this is the location that Lift is talking about, where his soul has resided and has linked him here to the Zafar Inn, or as he would have referred it to, the old Ironside Inn.
now, before packing away the entire body, I will make the double check. You said I found a skull. Is the skull cleaved in what looks like to be an axe? Like, did it look
There
like
is a
that was...
definite damage to the skull, which you could imagine came from some form of bashing or slashing weapon. Arthur, as you handle the skull, you feel as if a dark, foreboding presence stands over your shoulder, watching and anticipating your every move. This is not necessarily an unfamiliar feeling to you.
I'm gonna take a deep breath, roll my shoulders back, and press on.
Okay. So, Arthur, you've gathered up the body at this point. Per Lift's instructions, you would head upstairs, out back, and you would begin to dig a small grave for him, which, if you would like to do, you may. All right. So, Arthur, with Darian following close behind, you guys make your way out into the backyard where you dig a hole, much like you dug up the body. You dig it not quite as deep. The deepness of where his body at first was buried was to hide it. This is more of a grave deepness, if I could describe it in such a way. Enough where you can put the few pieces that you found of Lift, of which you dump into the hole gently. You bury over the grave, leaving a bit of a mound where grass had once grown. Is that all you do?
On the mound, I will, making sure that the mound is facing where I remember the sun to come. Did you say sunset or sunrises? I can't remember.
I believe
in this area.
rises.
I believe it was right.
At the head area of where the grave was dug, I will carve what I know to be the symbol, or the most common symbol of the goddess, into the ground.
So you carve this as sort of a makeshift headstone into the plot on the ground here. Though it is in dirt, it is temporary. You can possibly carve a more permanent one if you would like. But Arthur, as you do this and finish, you feel the weight, the hatred, the malice, the fear, the anger of whatever surrounds you dissipate for a moment as you complete this process.
Oh, work my way back into the inn.
All right. So you and Darian head your way back into the inn where Sentinel, Jamie, and Darby await for you guys. Liff has been buried. There's one more piece that he said he needed to move on, but the day is yours, party. Let me know what you'd like to do.
Quest milestone complete.
You've completed the first check mark of the quest.
There's still the second check
The
mark.
the optional check
Yes,
mark.
the optional
Yeah.
check mark.
Honestly, I think burying him was the optional one. The
Yeah.
other one.
Telling his daughter what happened to him, I'm sure, is the major.
Yeah, well, that's the important one.
Let's see. So we know what we know is the guy left, or his wife left with a human. That was 20 years ago. Now, if the
Tracking
human
down-
man was older, he's going to be elderly at this point.
20 years is a long
but
time for.
He's a
for
human
humans.
merchant she left with. Pretty scrawny man. That's literally all the information we have. He would not utter his wife's name. He uttered his daughter's name, Tiberia, but we don't even have his last name. We just have Lith as his first.
We can go to the registrar and see who owned the inn before we did.
Yeah, it's that wonderful person who referred to us by our race rather than our name. That'll be a
Yeah,
fun
I
time.
don't know if dealing with them is a really good idea.
And
I feel like we're better off just talking to somebody else who may have known.
I mean, he might be a dick,
Yeah,
but if he
okay.
gives us the info really easily, then
It's
It's
fair.
You're
it's a
assuming
valid
he'll
option.
cooperate with us.
I was saying either him or Governor Core, but you're right. It might be something that Governor Core doesn't work with on an everyday basis. So remembering the names just by
or we could
chance.
just
The
go
registrar.
ask the neighbors.
That's a good one too. Yeah, they've.
We could
lived-
also
they've lived
potentially
here.
ask the other guilds. I mean, they would have been supplying here, so they would have known who was running it.
Do you think Joel and them would know? I know they're relatively new, but maybe Morelli
didn't
would know
know
somebody.
before.
this was
Yeah, they
well,
didn't
this
know
is 20
before.
years ago, so
Yeah, both of those they wouldn't have been around. But
I
we
will
can.
state Marilli did mention she was in her 17th cycle, so this murder happened
Yeah.
3 years prior to her birth.
Yeah, no, like they wouldn't have known
Yeah, they would
this
not have known
person.
anything about this.
But we
It's
can
more so
ask-
inferring that she would know, like somebody in the area who would possibly know, because she seems to know
Possibly.
Highwater really well. But
we can go
we've
to
got
the
a couple of
servants
leads.
guild. We have to go to the servants guild anyway, so we might as well just go there and ask who was providing servants last time, or who was asking.
Who was
for
requesting
last time.
servants last time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
That's also assuming they give that information out.
I mean they might not, but if they're dead, it's not going to be a huge problem. We know their
Yes.
first name. We just need to know the last name of a dead person.
That's
I
true.
feel like
Okay.
that's not going to be too hard of a problem.
What if the wife changed their name though?
Well, we just need to know what his last name was, and then we can figure out. We can work
At least
back.
work from there.
I guess so.
If she got married, there'd be somebody who would perform a ceremony. Now, they probably don't have that written down, but maybe someone would remember that. Or remember a funeral where a man's wife didn't go.
Yeah, or remember her leaving town and just
Yeah.
disappearing. Well, at least get a lead.
So
Right.
I say we go to the servants guild and both,
It's a foreign detective agency. Let's do it.
get
It
two
was a
birds, one stone.
foreign PD.
2 birds, 1 scone. It's better to feed birds than kill them. Killing birds is bad luck.
Birds are cool. So
Birds
you guys
are-
would like to head to the Servants Guild and talk with Guildmaster Brizzle Hammerhead then?
Grizzle Hammerhead it is.
Okay. So early morning after burying Lift's body, you head out to the Servants Guild, which is open at this time. And as you enter, you see the large desk where different kind of mediators work to hire servants out to the different businesses and guilds of Highwater. Brizzle isn't necessarily in sight, though obviously being the guild master, he is most likely in another office somewhere.
Can I walk over to the office that we saw him in last time, or
You can.
okay, I was to say, or are we like blocked in some way?
It's not blocked. It is actually here on the main, first layer, off to the left. There is kind of a symbol on it. Servants Guild lingo, I guess I could say. You wouldn't necessarily recognize it, but you believe this to be Brizzle's office.
Is
Is the door
I
shut?
was like, is there a door on it and is it open?
Yes, there is definitely a door on it.
All right, I will rap on the door.
A couple minutes later, door opens, and Brizzle Hammerhead presents himself to you. Well, didn't necessarily expect you lot to be here so soon. Did you find out some information on Maxine for me?
Not yet,
Not quite.
but that is something that we have on our very long laundry list
Oh.
of things to do. We do have a quick question for you, though.
Well, fire it away.
Being in the interest of running a future business out of the old Ironside Tavern. Do you have the information as to who you used to send servants out to for the Ironside Inn? We heard of a name,
Ironside
Liv,
Inn.
but
Liv, 20. Believe he owned that place 20 years ago before his unfortunate disappearance. Let me check the ledgers real quick. I can give you some information
Unfortunate, it's
there.
very accurate.
Obviously, the former proprietors of the inn would be interested in knowing who the current proprietors of the inn would be interested in knowing who the former proprietors of the inn were. Business, as I would assume.
Well, yes, and especially
Yes,
if one is
definitely
haunting
business.
the latter.
Most interesting. Let me take a look here. From one of his drawers, Brizzle opens it. He pulls out a giant book, yay big. As he begins to flip through it, you can kind of get a glimpse of businesses long past that have once hired servants from the Servants Guild. Most likely even before Brizzle was the guild master here. Eventually he comes upon a page where he begins kind of scrolling his finger through, and he points on to the name of Liv Ironside. Where he motions over. He goes, "Oh, let's see here. Liv and his wife, Sue, they seem to have hired 5 servants from us back 22 years ago, about roughly. Seems there were some new servants here. They've come to the guild. Information related to finances, resources, and whatnot. Yes, they had a daughter named Selena, it seems, who, no, I'm sorry. Not Selena. 2 daughters, a Selena and a Tiberia. I don't know much more about this Selena, but there's a Tiberia in here. If you're interested about that.
Definitely.
Yeah, sure.
You don't happen to know where many of them are now.
Guild doesn't report those type of information, just who at what time took servants out from the guild and general family and financial information. But I do know Liv had quite the relationship with the Highwater Inn and Spirits down there by the entrance of the city. Biggest inn here in Highwater. Some of them might know a bit. Just guessing.
Good to know.
Definitely check it out then.
My dwarven memory reminds me, which it is dear impeccable, I believe his daughter Tiberia has long left Highwater. I haven't seen much about a Tiberia in these parts, at least not a Tiberia Ironside. I guess if she's gone somewhere else.
Probably the same place her mother went. Miss
So
Sue, you said? Was the
Correct, her name was Sue Ironside. A human woman, if I remember correctly.
So Ironside was the last name. Okay, cool.
So my question is, so you said he disappeared. Whatever happened to her?
Not necessarily, sure. I do remember because our servants were returned to us. I believe the old Ironside was sold to a wealthy investor who attempted to turn it into some type of whorehouse at one point. Wouldn't allow servants out there. Too dirty of work for my business. Closed down not long after. Too much competition with the first layer, so what do you expect?
Okay, well, makes sense.
Well, thank you very much. I guess we have our next lead. I'll be sure to follow up with you about Maxine once we get a chance to talk to Governor Core.
Wonderful. I look forward to it. We've been missing her dearly. Worried.
That's a small question. So she was working undercover, essentially, with the big crime gang.
Correct.
So I would assume then that you would know where you were sending her?
Generally, she was sent down to Old Town, the old slums here in Highwater, where, unfortunately, a lot of the destitute are forced to settle. Before Highwater was a grand floating city, it was a very small floating city. Prop built up by elven magic, long past and forgotten by ages. Old Town hasn't changed much, except for the buildings stacked upon buildings, attempting to house the poor and their multitudes. We send a few servants there every month to help feed them, a sort of charity work, you could call it, sponsored by the governor and the guard, which we're actually taking donations for, if you'd be so kind.
Yeah, sure. I'll hand him a gold piece.
I appreciate that, Dr. Watts. Go towards helping any of those who are destitute out there. Lord knows there are many of them. He takes your gold coin that you offered him, Jamie, and he pops it into a iron-locked coffer, personally guarded by the guildmaster himself.
Sweet.
All right.
All right.
Speaking of Maxine's disappearance, I guess to be a little uncouth, what is your personal, not to say experience, but what do you think of the reputation of Sliva? I guess I ask because I'm not from Highwater here, and only reason I ask is knowing some slumlords in the past. Some with the people have an aura of fear around them.
Others
but
are
also
much...
honor of respect, where there's honor among thieves, and they only take out people who disrespect them, where others are just kind of wanton chaos.
Ah,
So I guess
Sliva. Interesting question. Highwater's worst kept secret, some call. The fact that his slum group has occupied the sewers underneath the city for as long as they have leads to an interesting question of what the gods are actually doing in this city. Questions that Sliva himself might be paying off the governor or someone high up in the gods. Unfortunately, he doesn't much deal with us here at the Servants Guild. But my humble opinion is he's not to be trusted much. Fancy words, fancy promises, things like that. But Sliva is first and foremost a slumlord, and second most he's a hobbling. Which means that he desires money most of all.
Sounds like my
Possession
kind of people.
second, and honor third. So if you find yourself in relation to him or servitude of him, I would tell you to watch your skin.
Definitely sounds like my kind of people.
Well
Good to
then,
know.
Mr. Darby, if you can locate him wherever he is down in the lower layers of the city, by all means see if you can bring him up to the surface and integrate him with the standard populace.
So what exactly does the Sliva gang do? Do they just steal things, hijack things?
Trafficking, theft, extortion. Much in Highwater. The guilds you're currently trying to align yourself with for your ends, I can almost guarantee you have some piece connected with Sliva's gang. He's the backside. If Highwater and the governor, myself, the champion, represent one side of the coin, Sliva's gang represents the other. Both important, both necessary to the city. I don't necessarily agree with his methods, his words, his things that he does around here. The destitute and poverty he imposes on folks who oppose him. But he has his benefits at the same time. He's someone that is a necessary evil around the city. But don't let the god know that I said that.
Little vigilante justice, if you will.
I appreciate
I
your
wouldn't
candor.
even call it vigilante justice. I would call it hard thieves' law, where justice is hard to find, but punishment is free to give.
I appreciate your candor.
Yeah. Definitely helpful for our looking into of this gang.
If you find yourself in Sliva's presence, off the radar, I recommend you don't cause much trouble. There's a possibility he may be listening to this conversation. I have my suspect that some of my servants, loyal and honorable as they may be, could be making a bit of extra coin being in his back pocket. There are guards, shopkeepers, tavern owners, travelers, many different prospects of life who may exist within the realm of Sliva's pocket. It's hard to imagine exactly who, what, and worse, where such a person may pop up.
Just pretty much assume that it's anywhere. I remember being paid a couple silver coins when I was younger to just relay information that I heard while I was begging. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
You're wise to think such a thing. Hell, who knows? Even I could be relaying information to him. The governor could be, the champion could be. Well, there's a few around the city that I know wouldn't be. Jailer's one of them. But you never know for the others.
We're taking out enough of your time. I appreciate the information.
Very helpful.
All right, I think unless anybody else has anything else to say, I think we head out.
All the questions I can have.
Okay.
All right, so we now can go head over to the Highwater Inn and Spirits because apparently he had a relationship. They had a relationship with Lif. That was the last.
Yes.
Oh, but just kind of as we're walking, I just kind of want to relay to the group. It's kind of odd that Lif said mentioned that he had a daughter, and mentioned
Not
Tiberia.
two.
Did not say anything about Solana.
I wonder if Solana was born of the other man.
Be interesting that she was listed as an Ironside and listed as one of his daughters in the book, though, for the Servants Guild.
True. Never can be too sure with those little marital disputes, though.
True enough.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, so if you guys are all right with going over to the Highwater Inn and Spirits, I think that's where our next lead goes to. That's where the quest dot is on my mini map.
Yeah. I mean, we got like 5 of them, but it seems to be
Well,
the most.
it's the orange one. It's the one we're tracking.
It's the one we're tracking right now.
It's the tracking one.
We're tracking it.
So we do have like a couple pinning a few different
little white
areas.
dots, yeah.
All right,
Alright,
so if
so
you
we're
guys would
heading
like to make your way to the Highwater Inn and Spirits, you most definitely can. Ironically, the Highwater Servants Guild is not that far from the inn, as the Highwater Servants Guild is located relatively close to the main entrance, and the Highwater Inn and Spirits is right off the main strip there. As you approach, you see that despite it being midday, it is already bustling with travelers. Some looking for drinks, some looking for really anything that they can get their hands on at this moment, at this time of day. Pretty much anyone who comes in and out of Highwater sees this inn, and the most are attempt to frequent it. Fills up quickly, doesn't always have the best clientele. But their owner, Aaron, a old human man who has run this inn since his father and since his grandfather runs this place. You're able to discern this information relatively quickly as you approach the inn and you hear people call out, "Aye, Aaron, another round of ales around this table." And Aaron, as the humble, strict, nasty proprietor that he is, fills up a mound of mugs and sets it around the table for a group of half-elf mercenaries who seem to be taking their break here at the Highwater Inn and Spirits. There's an air of pipe smoke that has congregated in the upper echelons here of the inn. And Aaron stands behind his counter, filling glasses and mugs as he sees fit.
Do we want to try and rustle up a table, or do we just want to do a direct contact with Aaron? Do we want to appear like we're patrons? He may be more willing to talk if we're paying.
Yeah.
And I could use a drink.
Probably who couldn't.
Sure, why not?
All right, Seth.
I mean, it's about midday. It's about time for lunch, Get a little work
No,
done.
there are a
fun.
few open tables. Unfortunately, none with seats, but there are a few standing room tables that you may occupy if you'd like.
You're muted.
Yeah,
You're muted.
You
there,
are muted.
Sentinel.
Sorry,
go.
the dogs are
Something caught your
barking.
throat.
Yep, yeah.
Some seed stuck in the beak.
The one in the far corner will go sit there.
Like the edgiest rogues of all, you head over to the far table,
I
that
can't tell her the
occupies the
party.
Highwater Inn and Spirits. Where, as I said, it's standing room only, so you kind of gather around it. Not a large table, but it extends out enough that you're all able to gather around it comfortably, with only mildly sinking into Sentinel's large frame, considering he takes up the majority of the room here. A few minutes later, a waitress comes over. Pretty blonde girl, Elvin. Steps up and she says, "Well, hey there, gentlemen. What can I get for you?"
Well, ma'am, you can get me two things: a nice tall one and a conversation with the owner.
Shouldn't be a problem. Now, we got 2 beers on draft. One here right from Highwater and one here from Igarith. Which would you like?
Ooh, what's the one from Igarith?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's a hard, hoppy ale from what I hear. I'm not a beer drinker myself. I'm more much into those fruitier drinks. But I heard from the patrons it's pretty good.
I'll take the Igarith draft then.
It's a little more expensive.
That's fine. I'll take the Igarith draft.
Is it Igarith draft all the way around?
Water's fine, thank you.
It is for
Water?
me.
And water?
I'll take the Igarith draft.
I'm taking the Igarith. Yeah.
And what for our big bird friend here?
Got to taste the home.
Yeah. I'll have a look at the Igarith draft.
Alright.
So 3 Igariths and 2 waters. So she heads back.
4 Igariths.
That
No,
is going to be 2
Igariths
copper.
4 Igariths, 1
and-
water.
4
1
Igariths. Who's 4 Igariths. Who's having the other Igarith?
All 4. The only one not
Yeah,
drinking is
Jamie's
Jamie.
the only one not.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Darby said he wanted water.
No,
No.
he said he wants Igarith.
Oh,
No, I want-
Darby
I
wants
want-
drink.
It's been a
that
while
is
since
going
I've
to be-
tasted home.
That is going to be 3 copper from those who are having it.
Artsur will take out 3 copper and throw it on the table.
Okay. It's an import, so it's a little more expensive.
That's fine. Reminds
Jamie,
me
you
of
owe
home.
nothing. They're bringing you water, and water is free in Highwater.
Yes, we did
As
it.
they are
How nice
overly-
of them.
Is it high water? Is it called high water? Is it branded
It's
high
high
water?
water. It's Highwater premium spring water.
It's
or
got a little
premium
bit of
lake
CBD.
water.
It's got a little bit of CBD in it. It's high water.
Yeah.
High water.
It's when she brings you the bottle, it has an imprint of Jayla on it, looking really confused as someone quickly sketched out this image for her.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So this waitress comes and brings you all your drinks, and a few minutes later, the inn owner Aaron steps on over. All right, what lots if you want. Just see, I've got food to prepare for the patrons.
Well, we happen to be patrons, and we just have a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind.
That's it too. Fire away, demon folk.
I was told by our friend over at the oh well, that doesn't matter. We heard that you used to know Lif Ironside.
Lift, that son of a bitch. Come in here, gamble a bit, drink a bit, lose a shit ton of money. Fucker he was. Loved him.
Well, we're in the interest of doing him a little favor, let's say.
He died long ago. Well,
Doesn't
disappeared. Officially, he's dead. I can tell. Let him up.
well, doesn't mean you can't do someone a favor even if they're dead.
True that.
We are in the interest of finding his daughter Tiberia. Would you have any idea where she went?
Tiberia. Possibly one of the finest gals here in Highwater. Wasn't one of these elven bitches with their pointy ears and their eternal life. Had real tracts of land, as they say.
Okay.
Sure.
Supposedly moved to Pragla with her mom. After Lift died, she met some merchant fellow, some fancy human from far across the sea. Came in, looking to sell these fancy hats. Never quite got them. I don't believe they took off here in Highwater, so he figured he'd just make his way here. Out in Pragla. Believe she left with her mom and her stepdad. Yeah. 20 years ago.
We also heard something interesting that he had a second daughter,
Second daughter.
Solana.
Ah, interesting you bring that up. Lift came in here one time. Drunk and mad. Before he even came in. Usually I was the one to get him drunk. Nah, he already came in drunk. Spouting something about how his wife had accepted the prick of another man. dropped his seed, he did. Came out with another child. Elvin born this one. Which, if you know, Liv was a half-elf. Likelihood of a child being human was a little more kosher. But this one was pure elf. From what I've been told. Called her a whole right on the spot. Came in drunk as a skunk. Drank himself into a fucking coma. Had to have me boys bring him back to the old Ironside lest he throw up out in my garden.
Okay, so
Alright, so-
she was lying to him about who she was.
It appears my
Welcome to
assumption was
marriage, my
correct.
friend.
Well, hopefully not for a long time. I guess my only other question would be then, so yeah, he had another daughter, Solana, but it wasn't his. All right, I guess that's as much information, I guess, as we need from you, Aaron. That was quite the hefty sum. I'm going to slide a silver piece over to him on the table.
Appreciate. Well, let me go get someone for you. Your waitress, Jarella. I believe she was friends with Tiberia when they were little things. Might be able to give you a bit of, extra insight on the situation if you're looking to, contact her in some way.
Wait, before you go, you know what just came up? How was Lift to Sue? Was he...
How was Lift to Sue? Oh, you make me laugh. Whoremonger he was. Sleeping around with anything that came on into these pots. I've hired my many shares of whores here to work the tables under the guise that they don't practice their arts in my inn. But I don't much care what they do outside these four walls. I wouldn't be surprised to see Lift going on outside with one of them. Come back in about 2-3 minutes later and have himself another drink. When you pay, it doesn't matter how much it asks, though, does it?
I guess not.
Shocker.
Thank you, Aaron.
This is my shocker face. The racist was also not a great husband.
Who would have thought?
Well, look at that.
Oh no!
Oh no. I
can't
believe it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you guys finish
Well,
your
apparently
middle
she's
of
a
the
Dracula.
You try
You
and
guys
do one
finish
good
your
thing.
middle of
You
your day.
pay some
drink.
respects to somebody, and they turn out to be a shitball.
Yeah, well. What did you
My
expect,
opinion,
Arthur?
the
Let's be
entire
real.
family was a shitball.
Is that
Yeah.
so?
We have not met many good people here in Highwater. Was I really
There's
that
a
surprising?
fair amount of good people. I have been married to my wife for 30 years. Have 4 children. Some have gone off to become guards in Pregla. One of my daughters has gone off to marry a wealthy noble who has assisted the downtrodden in Highwater. It matters where you look, good sir.
Well, I suppose.
That is, unless you run into a guard in the middle of the night. But yeah, you're right.
There's some truth there.
True.
So. Anywhoosies. Well,
Well-
I'll go back to watching my friends drink in the middle of the day, and you enjoy the rest of your work.
Right. You
Yeah, business as usual, my friends. Do you guys have anything else for Aaron, or can he go back to serving the other
I'm
patrons?
good. That was quite a mouthful of information. I am good.
Yeah.
All right, so with a farewell and maybe an extra drink coming your way for entertaining him, Aaron heads away.
Just gotta wait for our waitress to come back. Maybe she knows a little bit more, but that's just great. So we've got a racist, bigoted monster of a man who we just buried and honored in the backyard of our inn. I have half a mind to dig him back up.
I mean, we buried him. We didn't necessarily honor him.
That is true.
I did. I carved the symbol of the goddess onto his grave. I gave him a moment's rest, where he didn't deserve any.
I just wanted the ghost out of the inn, really, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Well, that would be.
But like Jamie said, we could have killed him. We could have gotten an exorcist.
But that's money and resources.
Mm-hmm. And you're believing that
sometimes to prove a point. Do you
also
really think this man deserves rest?
you're also giving well, granted, I mean, I don't really, no one really knows what happens to a soul after they die, but one of the things I would be pointing out to you is that there is absolutely no way to know that this ghost won't just keep doing what he's doing after you give him what he wants. Like
true.
you say, like an exorcism is I've seen an exorcism. That's getting a soul that is tethered here to wherever the frick souls are supposed to go, and they don't come back.
Well,
This is
exorcisms typically destroy the soul.
Yeah,
They don't send it off to be peaceful. It obliterates them.
Yeah, so like there you go, done and done.
I happen to be a goddess-fearing man, so I'm not so sure I abide by yours. But again, like I said, somebody that is terrible, do they deserve the rest they're seeking? What do you guys think? I'm not the best judge of character.
I don't think the goddess is real, so we're probably on a wrong position.
Fair enough.
Understandable.
Sentinel, how do you feel about this? You're probably the most religious of the group here.
Something, what, one of the goddess born or something like that?
Sentinel's whole shtick is being a warrior of the goddess.
Yes.
That is true.
And yet somehow it's not a paladin.
You can be faithful and not have
No,
to
I
be
know.
paladin.
I'm
Let
just
me get out
saying.
of my game mode for a second.
I know.
No, you can't.
No, that's the whole. That is literally the definition of a
No,
paladin, the holy
you
warrior.
Can't.
Yes, you can.
No, I know. I jest.
It's in the book.
It's in the.
Bob,
It says
Literally
in
every
the
other
player's
class
head.
is agnostic or atheist.
Just super heathen.
If you are not a cleric, a
class.
warlock, or a paladin, you cannot have a deity. That is how it
No,
works.
this is not correct at all.
No.
How does
Sorry,
Sentinel feel about
Yeah,
it?
how do
I
you
want to
feel?
know. Arthur wants to know genuinely. He's seeking, like, because as somebody who is very lost, Arthur wants to know.
Whether or not
He
What's Sentinel
deserves
think about this?
Sentinel.
We're gonna have this deep conversation over a couple of brewskis.
Over a
Does
couple of
Liff,
eager
this
things.
terrible, ignorant, racist man, does he deserve to get afterlife peace, or should he be obliterated?
I mean, the man's buried already. What can we do now?
Who's
He
to
was
say
buried
he gets,
before.
who's to
He
say
was
he
buried
gets
underneath the
100%
stairs.
peace in the afterlife? I think there's a lot to be learned in the afterlife, and we could take what was otherwise a troubled soul.
No, I feel like
We've heard from you, Jamie. Thank you. What were you saying, Jerry?
So it could be the afterlife could be a lot or lead a lot to for learning for this troubled soul. And who's to say that he's going to be resting peacefully? If he is as terrible as he was, even if he passes on to whatever other side there may be, if the goddess sees that his life was unjust, I'm sure she would punish him accordingly in a way that would be way worse than just demolishing him. Because there are punishments worse than death. I imagine there's punishments worse than obliterating a soul.
Yeah.
Nebraska, he goes then?
Possibly. Never really know.
And why is our friend who disagrees with the whole idea of the afterlife so concerned about giving him a peaceful rest?
What are you talking about?
Jamie?
Yeah.
I don't want to give him a peaceful rest. I said I was the one who said let's get an exorcist and be done with it. Ghosts are simply psychic residences latched onto a physical object in the real world. We don't need to care about what they feel inside. They're dead. Once you are dead, you are dead, which is why I work to make sure that people don't die in the first place.
I appreciate your thoughts there, Jamie, but I can tell you that ghosts that haunt definitely have emotion, definitely have memory. As somebody who is, from what you could see, and were made privy to just a moment of my every waking day, somebody who's haunted by very, very many, they are not just psychic remnants.
They are psychic remnants. They're attached to you, and it's your own, guilt over the actions that you've done that keep them manifesting in your own psyche. I'm not going to say that they're not real to you, and they can't affect things. I'm just letting you know that they're not people. They're not souls. That's not a thing. Once the brain shuts down, the person is dead. That's a medical fact.
Well, Jamie's clearly wrong. We can ignore that. So,
That's
what do we
a
want to do?
very interesting opinion, Jamie. I don't think
Yes.
I've ever heard anybody in all of my travels ever present that idea to me.
Well, you don't know a lot. You don't know as many people that are as smart as me until today.
I guess not.
I mean, he is a medical doctor.
He is, and I don't besmirch him that. I just, from what I've seen in my life, I have seen the very soul of man ripped from his body. So to say it does not exist just doesn't work with me. But I appreciate your opinion.
Yeah, a lot of magic that we still don't understand.
For sure.
That's why I say we obliterate the ghost. Let's do an exorcism, bingo bongo. You'd pay an exterminator to get a rat out of a house. You don't ask the rat where you want it to go. Just get rid of it and move on. You're assuming it'll move on. You're assuming that it's going to stop doing the thing, even if it's set like why it said it. Why are we listening to it?
Other side of the coin, somebody very brilliant, one of the most brilliant people I know, told me that sometimes doing a good thing helps weigh out some bad things. Do you think that his daughter Tiberia deserves to know how he died?
Oh, 100%. We can definitely go find her and tell her that. I wouldn't
But
say we stop
doing that is what he wants us to do.
Yeah, we don't need to. That's not what he wants is irrelevant. If we feel like it's important for what she needs to live a lovely and healthful life, we tell her.
So you're not arguing against doing what he wants just out of spite. You're just saying don't let that be the motivation.
Yeah, like we don't. It doesn't matter what he wants. If this is a good thing for this girl to know, then we should tell her. Especially if her mother's still alive. She's a danger to other people around her. She killed one, she might kill again.
That's
I can drink to that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, we don't even know what this merchant might know. Again, if someone's willing to murder once, they'll probably murder a second time.
As you guys are having your discussion, your waitress kind of heads back on over to clear away some of the empties that you have gone through as you've been talking philosophically.
Well, we heard from Aaron that you used to know Tiberia, Ironside.
No, Tiberia. I still talk to Tiberia.
Still talk to her.
This
I send
tavern
letters
is
all
a
the
gold
time.
mine.
She's one of my best friends. Best
Beautiful.
human friends.
Where is she?
Pregla. She's out there doing a seamstress work for a tailor out there. Makes beautiful dresses for the king's ladies of the court.
Ooh.
Okay. Well,
Ooh.
I suppose we don't need to go to Pragula ourselves. He just wants his daughter to know what happened. So, would you mind sending us a letter to her?
I mean, I could include something. I email her almost monthly. Oh, what are you thinking? And what are you talking about specifically?
Perhaps the truth of what happened to her father?
Yeah, you might need to sit down.
You mean that old cheating hole bastard?
Yeah, we never said he was a good guy. Just that.
Well, supposedly, from what Tiberia told me, he up and ran off with some beautiful young thing, ran off to Igarith, where they have a huge big old family and he won't even talk to her.
Well, sadly, I
If
can
only
tell you
that were
the
the
only
case.
thing he ran off with was an axe through his head.
Yeah.
Goddess. Oh, that's not true.
No, Arthur dug the body up literally this morning.
Oh. So you're telling me that her father's been dead this entire time?
Oh yeah.
20 plus years.
That's awful.
Killed
Super
by
I'm
his
sure
own
Tabby-
wife.
I'm
Extra
sure Ti-
dead, if that's a thing.
Oh, I'm sure Tiberia would want to know that. She's been trying to find her father and contact her. She told me in her last letter. All right, I'll include something about it. But what say she's gonna believe you guys?
Oh, nothing says she'll believe it.
Tell her to come by the
Ironside
Safar Inn at some
Yeah,
point
that's
in
fine.
time, next time she's around. And there's going to be a small grave in the back of the inn with remains inside. Feel free to take them. And then you can go, and if she wants to, you can go take them to any sort of divination wizard, and they can give you the 100%.
Okay. I will include this in the letter, I guess. Since you seem to be owners of the old Ironside, and turned it into this other inn that you've mentioned.
I'm trying to remember, did he mention anything that only really could come from him that we could use as proof? If you guys can think of. Did he mention something?
Anything specifically, but...
No, I don't think so. Other than he saw an axe in his face.
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
I guess the only other thing we'd need to say, and I don't know if the letter can get into the wrong hands, if this is the wrong play, but she ought to know who killed him.
Well, and who would that be?
I would say that if she wants to know who killed him, she should come to the inn and have a conversation with us.
That's a great idea.
Tiberius should.
Yes,
Yes,
Tiberius should come to the
yes.
inn and have a conversation with us. And getting the information out would not
If
cover
she
both.
wants to know,
Uh,
she could live her
feel-
entire life and not know that. But
I feel very strange about a lot of this. I will include in my letter that the new proprietors of the Ironside Inn have information about her father, but I don't know about including that he died.
you should 100% include that he is dead, and we have information on that death. You don't feel free to omit how the death has occurred, but she should know that her father has passed, and we have information on
Why
that.
do you feel that we should omit the information of his death? You know Tiberia more than anybody else here.
Tiberius, a very sensitive girl, very cry-heavy, emotional. When her father disappeared, it crushed her. They were so close. He would take her out to the parks, both of us out to the parks, and we would play. He would watch us and play games with us. Knowing that he's dead and gone, and has been dead and gone for so long, it would just kill her.
So probably information better dealt with gentle delivery in person.
I would think so. I have some time where I'm headed to Pregla in the next couple months to visit some family myself. I plan to meet up with Tiberia a couple times. I could inform her of this information in person, which may be a more suitable way of doing it, under the stipulation that she comes and talks to the new proprietors of the inn for more information.
That seems fair to me.
That would be the best way to handle it, I think.
Probably.
I plan on leaving in 2 weeks. It may be some time, but I would be more than willing to share what you've shared with me.
Well, thank you. That's quite a tall ask. We truly appreciate it.
What is the name of your inn?
The Safar Inn.
The Zafar Inn. I will let her know this, and she can deal with any truths or exaggerations with you personally.
One thing I will ask that you be very mindful of when you meet with Tiberia is that you only let her and only her know this information.
Well, her mother has been long dead for the last 5 years, so she'd be the only one that I could inform.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's good for her, though.
And we're fine.
Never
We put it in
mind.
a letter
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, put it away. We don't care anymore.
Here we are.
The concern
this
is
whole
gone.
time.
Yeah,
This
I'm
whole time.
she's in danger.
She's
Yeah.
since such an unfortunate girl. Her father disappeared, and then her mother disappeared. I would never want to live like that. And I'm a half-elf.
Her mother disappeared.
Well, you just said she died.
They recovered her body about 6 months after the disappearance.
How long ago did she disappear?
About 5 years ago. Recovered the body 6 months later, I think.
What happened to her?
At this timeline.
She didn't say too much about that. Just that her mother disappeared, and I'd gotten a very long letter stating that her mother was found dead, and she didn't know what to think about it. As far as I'm aware, she's still under the care of a stepfather.
Interesting.
Okay, well.
Well, thank you for letting her know. We'll be
Mhm.
looking forward to her visit.
I'll send her by as soon as she's able to come to Highwater. Maybe she'll be able to travel back with me and have a talk with y'all.
That'd be fantastic.
But, I'll be nice enough and cover this round of drinks. I know Tiberia's going to struggle with the information, but appreciate it all the same, so I thank the lot of you.
Thank you. You're doing
Yep.
most of the work.
Yeah, thanks for the help.
And for the
And
drinks.
with that, Jarella heads away to wait on another table. And as you see her kind of cross to the other table, her sullen attitude immediately like flips like a switch, and she becomes bubbly and poppy and like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" kind of attitude again.
Well, seems like our ghost
Well, I
problem is
think
dealt
it's
with
on
for the
that
time
one.
being.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I just got the experience points for it. I just leveled up, so let me go into the stat tree.
It says quest complete.
Quest complete.
New stage. Wait 2 months.
Yeah, no, like, all right, cool, peace.
It's like in an RPG when you get to wait until this thing is done. And you're like, how long do I wait? And it's like, like
Wait.
10 in-game hours or something
Yeah.
until it happens.
We got other quests to worry about right now.
Yeah,
In
that's
the
fine.
meantime,
I'd like to push the wait here for 2 months button. The sun just
You know,
moves
it's
really, really
fast.
fast.
Just
Too much.
Man, I can't believe the Iron Sight Inn's all fixed up now. Now we really do have the Zafar in. Crazy.
It's like he presses the wait 2 months button, and like all of high water is like into the lake. There's fire everywhere. All these crazy, terrible things happen.
You've unlocked the Oblivion Has Come
Yeah.
quest.
Oh, God.
Reload last save.
Reload last quick save. Oh, man, what
We
happened?
let the dragons destroy Skyrim.
Oh, whoops.
All right.
All right, let's not wait that long.
What would you guys like to do next?
Well,
We got a couple of things we can do.
do we want
Let's
to
go back
continue
the
working
quest
on the
log.
inn, or do we want to try to find
Maxine?
Maxine?
That was the next bit.
I was gonna
Yes,
say, I
yes.
think meeting with Governor Core would help because apparently he can help us with some of the costs of the other guilds. So before we even meet with them, he may be able to kind of like introduce us as a friend of Governor Core.
Okay.
So that might help slide some things over.
Alright.
If not,
Makes
it'll
sense.
just help with the Servants Guild payment, and we'll help some other poor girl out.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
gonna have to
man.
start paying us to be guards with all this helping people.
I know.
I mean, yeah. Apparently, the guards aren't doing too much other than just hanging out.
Job on
and-
the guards.
You have a guard quest too.
Yeah, well, we literally, Jamie, if you remember, I literally reported a crime happening in front of a guard, and he laughed at me and walked away when we were trying to rob, what's his name, the highfalutin guy with the
Lord
two-
Bosch.
That sounds like what guards do.
Well, in my experience, I agree, but I figured Highwater might be different. You always got to keep a little grain of hope, right? No
No.
hope.
I
Hey-
definitely think that Highwater
Hey,
would be a little
Gad.
better than Igorith. but-
A-gab, everybody. A-gab. All day long. A-gab.
All right, to Governor Core's.
Yes.
All right. So after speaking with Brizzle, having a pit stop at the tavern, it is now the early afternoon, probably about 1:30, 2 o'clock. You begin making your way up to the third layer where Governor Core is. After quite a bit of walking, about a half hour of it, you find his mansion.
Ooh,
Yes,
15 minutes of walking, my friend. As I
15
duck you
minutes.
all through alleyways and uneven boards.
Urchin background. Let's go.
15 minutes of walking. Jamie leads you
15
along the
arbitrary
quickest
minutes.
Yeah.
path
Does
to
it change
Governor
anything?
Core's
Or it
mansion.
doesn't? But
To the third layer. The governor's mansion is quite impressive. Though ironically, some of the other noble houses you've passed as you've tried to get there are much more elaborate than the governor's house. Looks like for a noble family, it would comfortably live 6. For a common folk, it means it would comfortably live like 8 to 10. But for a noble folk, it would comfortably live 6. A lot of the other mansions are about that like 8 to 10 range for a noble folk, which means it like sleep 15 commoners if they really, really wanted to pack on in there.
It's nobles, that's fine.
There's a gorgeous garden out front, and as you approach the mansion, you can kind of get a glimpse around to the back of it where you see a gorgeous, well-kept garden out back as well.
Well, Sentinel, you're probably the noblest of us all. You want to ring the doorbell?
King Sentinel. Prince Sentinel.
They have doorbells? I'd ring the little bell.
You actually do pull a little cord and a little bell on the inside jingles. It's the earliest form of a doorbell. Only the richest have it. It's one of the newest features here in Elyssia. You can get yours for only 10 gold crowns a month for the next 12 months.
It's called an Elyssia ring.
Yeah.
Elyssia ring.
It's called a cockatrice nest, and it allows you to use magic to kind of see out into the whoever's looking at your doorstep, and it's in this little shape of a cockatrice head.
Is this a commercial by like a town crier?
What'd you say, Sentinel?
Is this a commercial by like a town crier? He's just yelling out,
Yeah,
for 10 gold pieces you can get
10 gold pieces.
Yeah, he's part of a huge international shipping company that kind of ships all over Elyssia. Everyone uses it and everyone hates it. Treats people like garbage, and he's just an asshole. He shot himself into space not too long ago. One of those kind of guys.
Yes.
Man, what a guy. Using magic to go
100% a lich, but we don't talk
He's
about
totally an undead lich that has been around for like 10,000 years and has been manipulating the very course of human history for the last 10,000 years. But I mean, what you gonna do? He ships your swords and daggers in 2 days, so you don't question it. You just take your swords and daggers.
Somehow, that sword from the other side of the world, it's there in 2 days. You don't know how it got there.
2 days.
It's literally impossible for it to get there.
But
it did.
Recently, I will say, their shipping's suffering a little bit. Sometimes you have to wait 3 or 4 days, and then when you contact their magical chat, you get summoned from the other end of the world that barely speaks any Vanitarian to try and help you, and they just don't want to work with you in any capacity at all. And you end up with a 10 coin credit on your account that you don't want, but you're going to use anyway, so you just kind of accept that 10 coin credit, and then you buy more shit from this giant shipping company in Elyssia. Yes. So, what you going to do?
They got a whole bunch of teleportation circles. That's how they do their shit.
That's how they do it.
Honestly, how is that not a thing in more fancy worlds?
Honestly, I kind of want to build. I want to build the Jeffrey Bezos.
A network of.
Centurion.
Then he can have his own Jeffrey Bezos song that everyone can sing.
Joffrey, it should be Joffrey Bezos or something.
Joffrey Bezos. I mean, Game of Thrones already ruined the name Joffrey, so why not?
Yeah. Joffrey Bezos. Joffrey Bezos.
You did it!
You did it! Congratulations!
Actually, part of those lyrics actually probably would make more sense for a medieval time period too.
Yeah.
You mean
their wives drink their blood.
He's a lich.
Their wives drink their blood.
He's a lich. That's some of the stuff that he do.
You can do it. All right. Anyways, Sentinel, you pull on this cord, and a few minutes later, a very refined, white-bearded butler man shows up in his elaborate-looking suit and his gold chains that link all around his clothes for no apparent reason, and you're kind of like, well, isn't this guy fancy looking?
A lot of pocket watches.
Oh. Welcome to the governor's mansion. I assume you have an appointment.
What's an appointment? Just a time. We're here in a point in time, so yes, you could say we have an appointment.
Why do we keep?
I have appointed us here.
Why do we let the chicken do this? This is a terrible idea.
Why do we keep letting him do this?
He never knows what to say.
I think he's very eloquent.
I mean, to be fair, he did exactly say that we have an appointment. But,
consider such a thing an appointment, but I know the governor's free right now, and I assume you're a guardian fowl.
You would
he's just a
assume
random
correctly.
giant talking chicken.
Yeah.
You know how
Yeah,
those are
there
just
are
running
these
around here.
New things called GMOs, and I just got pumped full of them when I was little.
That is not how that works.
Chicken humor. I will come on in. I will put you in the foyer and let the governor meet with you.
Well, thank you.
Of course.
I'm glad that the governor is so available to just
you have to
common people.
understand, I play chess with Nugs every Tuesday. And I know a guardian fowl when I see one.
Oh, you
Nugs
did
is
it.
a great friend of
Good
ours.
at chess?
Is Nugs good at chess?
No, she doesn't understand that the pawn can move 2 spaces forward. She always tries to move them 1, and then attempts to pick the bishop up and just knock my king over. I have to explain the rules every time that I see her. She says that in Guardian Fowl chess, the chicken is the most prime of all pieces and can move anywhere on the board at one time. No stipulation. Which means that every game against the Guardian Fowl ends in an immediate checkmate for both sides. And it's not much of a game at all.
I was gonna say
Brilliant.
the Guardian
That's-
Fowl piece in Guardian chess is the most powerful piece. Man, the wonders never cease. We'll be in the foyer.
The real question is have you played bugbear chess before?
I
I
can
can't say I
only
have.
imagine it's
No,
even
have I
worse.
played Bugbear? Is that a real thing?
It is. Bugbear is incredibly popular amongst their people. Just the other day, I had a bugbear in here who was upset about some sewage situation. We played around. What's most interesting about bugbear chess is, unlike regular chess where you have pawns, you have bishops, knights, rooks, kings, queens, such things like that, you have one piece, the bugbear. And all the pieces are the bugbear. And all the bugbear does is move 1 space forward, and it takes 1 piece that is in front of the bugbear piece. So all bugbear chess consists of is moving 1 piece forward 1 space and claiming the piece in front of yours. Ironically, whoever goes first is always the one to win the game. And I guess bugbears haven't seen the flaw in their gaming system yet.
Doesn't sound like a flaw. Just
sounds like it was an intentional design.
But you know what? I would like to
Looks
hear you
designed.
say bugbear 8 more times before we go on about our business.
Bugbear.
It's a big G
Oh,
there.
goodness.
Do you frequently, when people come to you with their problems, do you force them to play chess?
Is that like a thing you
instead?
do?
I was gonna wonder.
I
Is
wouldn't
you
say I force them, but there's waiting times and things like that where the governor is preparing himself, and he has a chessboard down there, and I have pieces from the different chess versions: Guardian Fowl chess, Bugbear chess, Lich chess, Goddess chess, Pirate Scurvy chess,
That's a good one.
Barnacle Under the Sea chess, Mermaid chess. There's a whole different
Well, of
subset of
course,
chess
yeah.
that I know how to play.
Wow, you are quite the well-traveled aficionado of chess.
We'll have to
Well,
take you
when
up on
you
a
are
game
the
sometime.
servant for the governor of Highwater, many strange folk walk through and want to play different versions of chess, because there are different versions of chess throughout the regions.
Yeah, well, when we get the chess quest and need to train on how to play chess, we know who to come to.
I'm sure I can find a way to cheat chess. It's fine. Not too well versed in. Quite a few hands. Oh.
The
the
real
governor's free.
complicated chess is
Oh.
9D Aracrockwin Death Chess, which you focus on a 9-board chess set with 320 pieces, takes 7 days to complete, full 24 hours. I fell asleep through half of it and still managed to beat my opponent, so
I'm going to whip out a dagger from my side, and I'm going to hand it to him hilt first, and I'll say, like, if you could just run this through my head so I don't have to hear more about it. Just as fast as you could.
Excuse my friend here.
Like, just
He
immediately.
did not get enough sleep last night.
Right into the orbital bone. Just get it in there. Please.
He does not have his manners. He left them somewhere far away and has yet to find them in any conversation we've ever had with him.
Maybe they're in the manners chest. Have we tried the manners chest, Arthur? Would anyone like to play
Well,
manners
Manners chess is actually a pretty interesting version of chess. I've played that one
Oh,
myself a
thank
few
God!
times.
Excuse me. And I'm going to walk past the guy into the front.
So, Jamie, you walk past the butler into the foyer, and it's a very elaborate foyer with some very posh furniture, tea, and like little snackies ready for you. On the walls, there are all these elaborate carvings of elven history, starting from the founding of Highwater all the way to sort of current day, give or take about 300 years. Elven years, so they kind of function a little different in terms of their lifespans and whatnot.
Okay, yeah. Okay, well, that's nice.
If anyone participates in the food, it's pretty delicious. It's some delicious elven biscuits and cakes and stuff like that.
Oh,
Arthur will walk past the food, but kind of scoop up a tray with his tail as he's walking by to kind of bring in front of him. And
I'll definitely put some food in my pockets.
Sure.
If it's good, I'll put
if you grab any of the cakes, they are very spongy and the biscuits are very dense.
Yeah, I'll take a bunch of them, put them in my pockets. Super fast, like.
About 15 minutes later, one of the doors opens on kind of the main level here, and in walks in an aging elf.
Only 7 minutes later, because Jamie's going to show us the shortcuts within this highfalutin.
In time. Shortcuts.
The shortcuts in time.
Here, step through this portal, guys. It'll help us get 7 minutes in the future.
Buller's going to be showing us through the foyer, and Jamie's going to be like dipping out of the kitchen and going like, walking across the banister and.
It is how it gets around.
So this aging elf walks through in fine, stately clothes. He's got a tight white beard, white hair. In terms of elven aging, Darby, you're a dusk elf. I don't believe no one else is an elf in this party. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a drunken brain fart. So, yep. So Darby, you would understand that elves, not only do they have a longer lifespan, but once they begin to hit their twilight years, it's a very quick downturn into reunition with the goddess. And Governor Core is definitely expressing these sort of traits that you've seen in elves past, with a hunched back where once he may have stood tall and elegantly amongst the people, he is now frail and old, and his back is arched over. He must walk with a cane as he steps his way in, and he says, "Oh, my butler informed me that there were those who wished to speak about the situations here in Highwater. He said you knew quite a bit about chess, which I don't know why that matters much to this conversation, but he made sure to mention it to me."
Jamie over here is the best chess player in the world, but that's not really important.
He can talk endlessly about it.
He's played so many more than I've ever even heard of.
Jamie, contain yourself as we take up Governor Core's time. We were sent to you actually by the Servants Guild with a couple of pieces of information. One being that excuse me, I am Arthur. These are my comrades. We are the owners, the new proprietors of what used to be the Ironside Inn and has now been renamed as the Zafar Inn. We've been making our way to the different guilds to try and build up a status before we open to the public for our business. And we were told to come to you for some guidance in that area, but also we're talked to about Britzel at the Servants Guild, who mentioned somebody named Maxine who worked for you.
Oh, if Bristle has talked to you about Maxine, then you must be, well, at least a bit in the know. I had requested his services not long ago, a few months, to keep an eye on Sliva's gang, which seemed to be getting a little uppity in the last few months. We have a very tumultuous relationship with Sliva and his lot. Amicable, but tumultuous all the same. He's been getting a little more brazen, a little more forceful. So I'd asked Brizzle to take one of his own to spy on the Hopling and his group. I had heard that the girl had gone missing from her post in Old Town. Most regrettable.
You okay, Jimmy?
Yes, I'm good. My fiance showed me something gross, and I've reacted to it. But I am still here.
I thought you were reacting to Governor Corr's description. I was like, whoa.
No. Nope, we're good. That was real world.
You sent her to Old Town to do some spy work, and that is where she became missing from. Is there any other... we know she's a Dusk Elf. We know she's 19 years old with teal hair. Do we know the name she was going under?
Ironically, Brizzle supplies servants to Sliva's gang. They pay well and both serve as an inside to the goings-on down there. I am fully aware that Sliva most likely realizes this fact. She did not have a code name.
Put her in danger on purpose.
She was simply going by Maxine.
She used her real name.
That's not a very good idea.
Is there anything else you can tell us about her? We were sent to you for more information before we went to Old Town. Is there anything else you can tell us?
Maxine frequented the alleyways down on the southern end, from what I am aware. There is a long, dangerous entrance to Sliva's compound, from what I understand. Maxine was sent there to watch it. If anything, maybe she decided to go a little further into the compound.
You happen to know where that entrance is?
There are many entrances down into the bowels, into our sewer systems in high water. Only Sliva's gang knows the exact mazes to lead them to the Hopling's lair. Even some of our servants who have attempted to map out such a thing have been unable to.
Well, we are on the case, as is evident. We will continue to work towards trying to locate her. Obviously, the goal is to bring her back alive, but to the best of our ability, we're not working on much. We know what I told you, and then obviously what you just gave us. So I guess we can go off of that, unless there's anything else you can think of. I'm at a loss for questions here, guys.
Not for Maxine specifically, but I have heard about some of the good that your group has done around the town for certain people. And I've spoken to Marilli once or twice in the last few days, and she told me about the new proprietors there at the Old Ironside. There have been many dark-robed figures that have appeared in high water, linked to Sliva's gang, far as I'm aware, but mysterious all the same. I have had some of our guard try to scope them out, but they seem to vanish like ghosts. Perhaps if you could figure out a bit of information about them. As far as I'm aware, they're in Old Town as well. I know Captain Cromley has sent many out there to seek these figures, but most have been unsuccessful.
So hooded figures are
in Old Town,
just existing, and all of a sudden no longer existing.
But you're not sure. You said they're unrelated to Sliva's gang, or you're unsure? Just kind of.
I am unsure of these things.
Have they done anything, or are they just hooded figures?
Strange hooded figures that gather, and a dark aura radiates around them, from what I've been told.
Wonderful.
Omens and ill will conjugate around their very existence. Misfortune to our city, I fear.
Does Sliva's gang normally have a bunch of people in hooded
No,
robes?
Sliva's gang is far more open about what they do.
Okay, so then we can assume they're not just randomly changing fashion choices,
No,
and that
usually
this is a
groups don't.
different people.
And I'm assuming with Sliva being a hobbling, I pretty much presume most of his gang will be hobblings as well.
Speaking of Sliva, I have spoken with him once or twice in passing. He is very against capes and robes.
You and Sliva have conversations.
But Sliva has conversations with many people.
I don't suppose you could get us a
You
conversation with Sliva.
And the known gang leader of this city have frequent, regular conversations.
I wish they were frequent. In my time as governor for the last 100 years, I have only spoken with Sliva twice.
This was before he was doing grime, or was this after?
Oh, he was doing crime, trust me. But the conversations were necessary to assure the peace amongst our people.
Okay. Well,
Hmm.
yeah, I guess. I don't know what's that.
Anything else? Sentinel, you got anything? Darian, you got anything? You've been awfully quiet.
My house is very noisy right now, so I've had.
Oh,
my
no,
mic
no, you're
on.
good. No,
Yeah, that's
in
fine.
character, I was good.
Yeah, I'm only
Alright.
speaking up when absolutely necessary, and I don't have any other questions.
So, Jamie, if you want to get that chess match in before we go, we've got some time.
Really? Can I? Can I do a whole bunch of chess for no reason?
Yeah.
Here, quick, I'm gonna go outside and get my very special chess set. Hold on just a minute. Please, everybody stay right here and don't leave until I come back with my special chess set.
Well,
Excuse him. He's
And then I'm going to start heading out.
he hasn't gotten enough sleep in the last couple of days. I'm going to apologize on behalf of him to Governor Core.
No
I was being
problem.
very
My butler
generous.
is strangely obsessed with chess, and even I grow weary of it sometimes.
I mean, everyone's got to have a hobby.
Fair enough. We'll come back to you if we got anything else on those dark robe figures or on Maxine.
Thank you so much.
Hopefully
Your
a little bit of
service to
both.
Highwater is appreciated. And I know you're to be trusted from what Marili says.
Well,
Arthur's gonna kind of scoff to himself and
I suppose.
smirk and then walk out.
Trust is a strong word. Darby will leave as well.
Before Sentinel leaves, Sentinel asked the butler if he could play a game of Guardian Foul chess.
Would you like
Since he's
to play
never
a game of
gotten a
Guardian
chance
Foul
to.
chess with the butler Sentinel?
Yes, please.
How familiar
I've
are
never
you
gotten
with
a
the game?
chance.
Well,
I've never
no,
played
he
before.
explained it. The butler explained the rules.
Yeah. You have
Yeah,
the Guardian
sure.
Foul, and the Guardian Foul can go anywhere
Now I'm
anytime.
familiar with
He
it.
can
Yeah.
move whatever piece he wants to, wherever he wants to, and then he immediately wins.
Alright. So Sentinel, what you don't realize is that the butler has many more rules of Guardian Foul just to explain to you, which takes about
Oh no.
3 hours to explain.
Oh!
Not that any of them matter, because the first move is the move that wins, because the Guardian Foul piece can go anywhere that it wants. But there are still 3 very important hours of Guardian Foul chess that you must understand. So not only do you understand how the game is played, you understand why the game is played. And after all this, Sentinel, after 3 hours, because all of you asked for this, sitting around eating the governor's tea and
Would
biscuits,
not
waiting
have
for
stayed
Sentinel.
for 3 hours. I would, like Jerry would have 100% found something else to do. So, like, we could have that conversation
After
later.
like 30 minutes, Darby would have just grabbed the piece and moved it next to his king and went, "There, the game's over. We're leaving."
Yeah, I wouldn't even be in the room. I was leaving to go get my special chess set, as you heard earlier.
That's true.
So I don't even know what's going on right now.
Arthur would have also abandoned the governor's mansion at that point.
I would've
Sentinel, would you
hung
like to
out,
take
don't
the
worry,
full 3
Sentinel.
hours to learn the chess game?
Yeah,
Well, I guess if Darby ended my game early, then the
Alright.
game's over. But I tell him that one day
He'll
he
be
should
back.
stop by the Zafar Inn, and when he comes to visit Nugs, that maybe the three of us can play some guardian foul
He
chess.
just might take you up on that offer, Sentinel, so beware. So after about
Okay.
35 minutes of Sentinel learning Guardian Foul chest, and you all heading out from there to gather chess sets and do whatever you want, you're now outside the governor's mansion. What would you like to do?
What time of day is it?
It was about like lunchtime when you got here, so it's probably about 4 o'clock right now.
Okay, I guess if we want to, I don't know if we want to sneak around Old Town or if we just kind of want to like just walk in and be like, "Hey, we're looking for this person." I don't know how we really want to approach that.
I don't know. Everyone seems real out in the open about the various activities going on around here.
Again, to be honest, me and Darby aren't going to look out of place in Old Town.
No,
but, like
I'm not gonna look out of place in Old
the
Town.
chicken probably will, but let's be honest, he looks out of place everywhere he's at.
100%.
And
And
I'm
at
sure
this
Darian's
point,
just going to be out of place because he'll be shaking from nerves.
and his
His-
giant antlers.
No, his
That's
well,
the
I was gonna
antlers.
say the light from his moral compass will just be a
Shine
beacon
way
to
too bright.
everyone.
Yeah.
But I will say this: the reality of us sneaking into anywhere, in a town where apparently this guy has eyes and ears everywhere, is next to unlikely. Seeing how we have a giant talking chicken, there's only 8 of them. If he didn't already know there was a giant guardian fowl in this place, he does know
Does
now,
now,
and we're
yeah.
the only other people who've ever been around him. So
Well,
you know.
As soon as we bought the tavern, we were clocked by him
Yeah.
because any
So-
sort of business transaction like that'll probably make its way to him.
Subterfuge is not the way to go with this sort of thing. It just wouldn't
Definitely
work.
not. No.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, these crime organizations like to be a little up in front with that kind of stuff.
So we
All
might
right,
as
well-
well just go in and ask the questions that we were paid to ask, and try not to ruffle too many feathers. He
Sounds
says,
good.
eyeing Sentinel.
Yeah.
All right, so your guys' goal is to head to Old Town and start
We're gonna
asking
march
questions.
into Old Town like a giant beacon of hope.
Okay. And you're asking questions about Maxine specifically?
I will be keeping my eye open for any dark, random hooded figure, as was
Same.
mentioned. But yes, we are going under the guise that are the only purpose we're going there for is to ask
I would-
questions about Maxine.
I wouldn't so much ask questions about Maxine's, but just to try to get an audience with Sliva. We can
Okay.
ask
Audience
with
Sliva.
Sliva.
what-
An audience Sliva, most interesting. So
I think
Whoa.
that makes more.
I mean-
I think that makes more sense.
I'm actually done with that too. I'm down to go talk to Sliva.
Like because we
Just-
don't.
Just
If he
remember,
did. Yeah, if he
you
did something.
marked a building with their symbols, so like unless he doesn't know that,
A guy marked the building with this
Okay.
symbol.
Okay.
They didn't know it was
Just-
me.
okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are
maybe.
going to go to Old
You never
Town and attempt to contact Sliva.
I feel like if
All
we
right.
want, to be fair, I feel like if we're going to go with the aim of contacting Sliva, we should probably be a little more covert about trying to contact Sliva, rather than just march and be like, "I want to
You know what?
find Sliva. Where is
just
he?
walking all the time, go Sliva,
Sliva,
where are you, Sliva?"
Well, we would
Sliva,
just be
come
able to.
out."
We'll just go down. We'll just here. Let me just do an investigation check on like on a place where I saw that symbol that you gave me earlier, and then just walk in, and we can do that way.
I'm
That's
more
what
in line
symbols
with
out
just
there.
kind of asking some questions about Maxine, and then if people are like, "Hey, stop talking about her," then we can go to Sliva Roach. But if you want to go
Dang it,
direct,
I didn't do well, so never mind. I can't find.
I
the
mean, it's
symbol
it's the classic move to just go down the main street and yell out the gang leader's name until something happens.
coming
for you.
Yeah, this is Wild West 101.
We're not in the
do
Wild
that.
West though. That's not for a few thousand years.
oh god,
This could be
Well,
the Wild West.
Regardless of this will be interesting here. Regardless of what you guys decide to do, you have all opted to head to Old
Old
Town.
Town,
So as
yes.
you're having this discussion and heading your way to Old Town, you kind of pass by a group. The man who seems to be leading the group seems to be in some relatively decent looking leather armor. He's got kind of like the combed over hair. He looks to be about like 39. Got a big spear on his back. And he stops. He looks over to the group and he bops one of his guys on the side. He points to you guys and they start whispering to each other. He immediately goes, "Oh, excuse me. Excuse me there."
Yeah.
Can we help you?
Yes, you actually, I think may. And he points at you, Darby. You're Darby Langdon, aren't you?
Depends on who's asking.
And you're Darian Kipps, Arthur Wake, Jamie Watts. Excuse me. Dr. Jamie Watts, and why can I not forget the big and lovable Sentinel?
Who's asking?
You know
Do
us.
we know you?
We don't
You
know
don't know
you.
me. Oh, but I know you. My name is Brock. I am sold for hire, you could say. A very prolific, powerful, strong, bugbear slaying sold for hire, supposedly. I'm
Inside
not one to
check.
claim it, but
Yeah,
some have
Big
claimed it.
insight check as well, yeah.
Insight check.
Go on.
Not everything was man-sized, as I should. Ooh, not bad, actually.
10.
Where's my insight? Oh, I got good insight. 21.
Under the insight. You don't think the guy is bullshitting, but he's definitely really weird.
Okay.
Oh, that's fair. I can do that.
Good lord. Man, I thought it was gonna be real hard to find you lot.
Well,
This is like a goddess miracle right here, if you ask me.
I'll say for sure it was harder.
I was asked to find you guys, and I found you, and this is wonderful. I've been looking forward to meeting you for a couple days now. Well, about a day, actually. Now,
I think you have the wrong person.
Yeah. let's see.
are you sure? No, I don't think so. And Darian, he grabs your hands and he pulls them up. He goes, now these are some fine fingers right here. These are good for shooting a bow. Good for shooting a bow with that lot there that you shot him at. Oh, what was their name? Keith and Dola, wasn't it? You shot your
I'm gonna step in between, put a wing in between
I would
him
also
and Darian Kipps.
like to make an
And-
investigation check to make sure Darian is not missing anything from his sides.
Go ahead, give me an investigation check.
I've seen this trick. I know this trick. Oh wow, another really good roll. Investigate another 22 this time.
Darian is missing nothing.
Just making sure.
So Sentinel and Darby
No
have gotten
pickpocketing.
between Brock and Darian.
Not necessarily in between, just eyeing to make sure he didn't take anything.
But Sentinel, you've
I
got
got
in
it.
between.
Yeah, physically
Yeah,
got
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Sentinel, however, powerhousing.
I mean no harm, Mr. Bird. I just wanted to see the fingers of a champion, you could call them.
I mean, you could ask before you just
Yeah.
grab them.
Oh, I'm most apologetic. You see, where I come from, we kind of just do things without necessarily asking. It's what our master calls us to do sometimes.
And where
Brock,
are you
why
from?
are you looking for us? What do you?
Yeah, that's
what do you
you.
Have
need?
fun, random finger guy.
I've been sent to find you lot. I was asked to find you a day ago. I went to your inn and you weren't there, and I was really upset because, he doesn't like to wait on these kind of things. So
Who is
He's
he?
gonna take a step
Just-
back and
yeah.
grab one of his, put his hand on one of his holsters. He's
right.
does not like being looked for.
there's no need to do that. I come on behalf of my master Sliva.
Okay, there we go.
He's gonna turn and look directly at Jamie.
I was
Well,
I told
Jamie?
you.
It
told
looks
you.
like we
That was
found our
really-
guy.
All right, well, I don't know who this Jamie guy is, but you guys have a great rest of your day. I found you here. I've gotten you all the way here, and I will. If you need anything else, just make sure you ask.
We
All
need
right,
you
see
to.
you later, Dr. Jamie Lee Watts.
Yeah.
I don't know why you keep calling me that random guy's name.
Well,
That dude
because that's
sounds
your
cool.
name. That's what you registered at the registrate with, Dr.
Jamie
Watts.
Lee Watts. What a character he is.
What a great guy
gonna
he
be-
is.
You're gonna be happy to know Sliva's not even very mad. He's just a little bit mad about the whole robbing and placing a sigil at the robbery kind of thing.
Yeah, so he
He's
does
only
that.
a little bit mad, and when he's a little bit mad, not a lot of people die, so that's okay.
I just want the record to show that was Jamie's idea, and I had nothing to
That
do
was
with
not my idea. In fact, my
It
idea.
wasn't my idea, that's for sure. That's all I want the record to state. I had no part in
But at the
Jamie's
same time-
Jamie's idea was to get caught.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter whose
my idea was
it
not to
was.
get caught. I'm not saying this out loud.
We're all involved here. Let's
Right.
just
My idea was not to
Go
get
figure
caught
I'm
it
at
not
out.
saying I
all.
wasn't a part of the plan. I'm just saying I had nothing to do
No
with that.
matter whose idea it was.
Yes,
You
that's
know,
right.
it's kind of a group effort. It's like a group project in school. Someone fucks it up for everyone, and then everyone fails.
You know what, Brock? It's your lucky day, because typically when someone's looking for me, I typically bail. I don't stick around. I don't play this cat and mouse game. I'm gone. But we happen to be looking for Sliva as well. And
Yeah.
we're gonna feed two birds with one stone here. We're gonna work together.
You know, Arthur, you
that's
shouldn't be feeding
wonderful.
birds stones. They can't eat
was-
them.
I
said
was hoping to
stone.
get
Oh,
a bit of an
Stone.
I said
audience
stone,
with
not
you a
stone.
lot.
No, okay. I misheard.
You
They
wanted
sound very
to talk,
similar.
but I just need to ask someone a question here. And since the big bird decided to not let me ask it from Darian, I'm gonna have to ask it from you, Darby.
Okay.
He kind of awkwardly shifts his way up to you and he throws his arm around you, Darby. And I need you to give me a dex save.
Oh, fun. A dex save.
Cast a spell.
I'm okay at these. Does this involve charming me in any
Nope,
way?
it does
Magically
not. It does
putting
not.
me to sleep?
Nope, it does not.
Okay. Just making sure.
No advantage.
That is a 16 on the dex save.
I'm gonna have to make a roll here for him. Oh, you're lucky.
Fantastic.
He immediately pulls out a dagger, grabs your hand, and attempts to cut off your ring finger against the side of one of the buildings. And as he kind of pushes you into the building, he leans over and goes, "Well, there now, Mr. Darby. Sliver wants a little bit of blood before he talks to you now. And I'm just the messenger. It only gonna hurt for a second now. Just one little
Wait.
second. We put it right back
Well-
on for you."
Arthur was
Oh,
going to pull
no.
out. His hand was on his pistol. Arthur will pull out his pistol and aim it at Brock.
I'm going
I
to
can give Sliva a little blood.
Oh, we can
Is that
definitely
what
give
we're
him
up
some
for?
blood.
I'm going to roll sleight of hand. I would like to take off this dude's belt and have his pants fall, and also take the knife out of his hand in one foul swoop.
That will be a disadvantage sleight of hand roll.
That's fine with me.
And that will be against his passive perception. So
That is a
Oh, wow, that first was pretty good.
Damn it!
Oh, big 17 on the first roll.
What was the second?
Wait, I'm gonna use my inspiration. Shit. I
You have
can't.
in-
Well, I know I can. I can still re-roll.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
inspiration.
I will re-roll this one thing and see if I get better than that. Okay, 14. It's better than 1. Or down.
That's what the total was.
You are able to disarm him. You are not able to pull his pants down.
Sweet. Well, I took the dagger out of his hand. That's
Yep. So
all
you
I-
kind of come, Jamie, as Brock is explaining this, you immediately come out and pluck the dagger from him, which obviously because he was holding it, he very quickly realizes, and he turns his head and see that you have the dagger between your two fingers, kind of like right behind him there.
And then I'm going to
I have-
chuck
I
it
have-
behind me.
You just throw it. It
I
lands somewhere.
have cocked my pistol and I'm aiming it at his head.
Oh, I love a feist a lot, I do. Oh, so here's the thing. The Sliver wants a little bit of an audience with you lot. We don't have to do the blood, because, you already figured the blood thing kind of out, so it's not as fun anymore.
But what
But
if I
if you
want some
shoot me,
blood?
Arthur, I will fucking stab your friend right through his goddamn throat and rip his gizzards out.
How are you gonna stab him if you don't have a dagger?
Oh, Brock has many a weapon that he can use. Some you don't even know.
I think Jamie's just gonna be like, all right, you're boring. You're actually the most boring version of this type of person. A dog with a bell and a note around their neck would be less intrusive than you. So, at this point, we'll be more than happy for you to complete your fetch quest and then just go back to being completely irrelevant. So yeah, go ahead. Walk us to your better. Appreciate it.
Thing. There's a little bit of
Keep
a
your
walk
hands to yourself.
to Sliver's place.
Yep.
He ain't too kind on people learning about where he's living. You have to come blindfolded if you like.
No, thank you.
No, we don't really do the whole blindfold thing.
Are you sure, Darby? You seem to be in a little bit of a precarious situation.
I don't know if I would say that.
Would you?
No, I don't think I would.
Oh.
Now, what if...
Oh.
Obviously, he doesn't
Tell
like
me.
people learning about his location, but what if they want to cooperate with him? Obviously, they would need to know how to get to him.
Well, that's the thing. When Sliva wants to cooperate with you, he finds you. He doesn't let you find him. What would the point of him being all secret-like?
What happens when someone fails their mission?
Yeah.
When someone fails their mission, well, it's a couple
hear about
demerits,
you.
but if you get enough demerits, you get your throat slit.
All right. Well, how are you feeling? You feeling good on your demerits? You think you got a good time?
Honestly, I'm one of Sliva's right-hand mans. I have no demerits.
Oh, well, that's gonna be
I'm
a
really
fun time to
happy
get
about that.
your first demerit today, because I'm just gonna
Aw.
leave, and you'll never see me again.
He snaps his finger, and a couple more people emerge from the crowd, Jamie, to block you.
And it's like, yeah, no, this is nothing. I've left much harsher positions than this much more times. So,
I'm sure you have. I'm asking for a polite little meeting off of a sin that your lot has made, and my master is looking for forgiveness.
You trying to stab somebody? I know.
You just went about it the wrong way.
Yeah, you messed up
But
pretty
blood
bad.
for blood, my friend. Do you understand the time and effort that Sliva's had to dedicate to clean up your little mess up on his whole framing thing that you did?
I don't even think
I'm
there's
sure.
proof of that.
I understand your position entirely. I'm more or less concerned for Sliva, as if it's more worth his while to entertain us without the whole situation of involving you, because involving you probably just cost him. I couldn't even tell you how much. You're turning Jamie off. You're turning all of us off of ever meeting your boss. When we were more than willing to sit down with him to begin with.
You also have already missed a whole day, and you said he doesn't like waiting. I mean,
Yeah,
all of
so
this
you've
talking is
already
only
made a
making it take
mistake.
longer.
All the more reason for you to join me right now.
That's not on us.
blindfolded,
That's on
all
you.
I ask.
You said if he
I'm
wants to
good.
talk to someone, he'll meet them.
Yeah, I'm good. You can
So,
meet me at the
We
inn.
can wait for him at the inn.
Sliva won't come and meet ya. He ain't come and meet anyone. They come and meet Sliva. Even your governor up there comes and meets Sliva on his own territory.
Okay, well then take
So
us to him.
We're willing to meet Sliva. I'm just
I
not
would
putting the
love
blindfold.
to.
You just tried to take off Darby and Darian's finger.
Yeah, we're good. So you can take us to your dude or not. Those are your two options at this
That's
point.
really all we have going right now, yeah.
Well, I
Whether we
hate
go
to
or we
regret it
don't.
for you. If you won't come kind, there may be some difficulties for you in high water. I want to let you know that all of this here is not Brock's fault. I do this solely on orders. I think you'll find lot. I thought what you did to Lord Bosch was fantastic. I was a huge raging dick. Only working on orders right now.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh,
I'm just gonna
you know
hold
what
my
I'm
hand
talking
out
about.
for the blindfold. Give me the blindfold.
Someone understands the blindfold. It's just a matter of precaution. You can trust me. Have I given you a reason not to trust me? Actually, I have. But let
Several.
me understand that Sliva is a man of his words. When he says he's gonna take you someplace safe, he means he's gonna take you someplace safe. When he says he's gonna pay you, he means he's gonna pay you. When he says he's gonna run you out of high water and cut your testicles off and watch you bleed out on the outsides of the city and die, well, he means that too, my precious Darby. He kind of strokes your cheek with the back of his hand, Darby.
Don't touch me.
All right, yeah,
He's
so
already
take us-
touching you.
Yeah, take us to your person. If Darian wants to get his blindfold on, he's more than welcome to it. But the one thing that you're going to find out about me and your bosses as well is I deal with people like him all the time. If he wants to work with me, he'll work with me. If not, he won't. But I'm not doing something that I don't like to do. So
I'll go alone
take us
if
to
I
him.
have to.
Here's the thing. Sliva probably isn't much like what you've dealt with before. He's a little bit more refined than some of those other folk that maybe you've talked with, you've had to negotiate with.
Yes, he's the
I
scariest,
recommend the
the
blindfold to
strongest,
you.
The toughest, the roughest, the best, the
Oh.
meanest, the cruelest, the wisest, the strongest. I've heard it all.
Brock,
from
you're not
other
going to convince
lapdogs.
Jamie
Yeah.
because
So
he's the
let's go.
smartest guy in the world, so I'll just go alone if I need to.
And you
I'll
don't
put
know
up
the
with
people I've dealt
You're not
with.
gonna go alone, Darian.
So let's
Yes,
go.
that's
Come on.
also
Come
not
alone if
happening.
you'd like to have him represent your group. But
I
Sliva
don't
won't
think
take
I do.
anyone without the blindfold. He ain't gonna let anyone know where he's from.
Well, you know what, Brock? Because my friend Darian here is a better man than I'm not going to let him go alone if you're only going to take him. So I guess I'll take a blindfold as well. But trust me in this. As a man who's died many times before, if you do anything to him or you're going to wish Sliva killed you.
I wouldn't dare touch you unless I was ordered to. You think I'm a man of dishonor? I'm a man of the
Yes.
utmost honor.
Yes, I believe thoroughly that you are a man of dishonor.
Sliver's the most honorable person here in Highwater. He'd never backstab you. He only gives people their comeuppance when they need it. But if you're willing to join us, I'm willing to take you. Any other takers? Or are we going to have some more like this Mr. Watts, who doesn't seem to want to join us here?
My name is Doctor, and I don't need to want to do anything. I don't talk to people like you much farther than I have to. So, if you're taking us, we're going. If not, then you can be on your way.
I'm taking those who will take the blindfold. Are you taking the blindfold?
I'll look
Pretty-
at Sentinel and Darby.
Look at Sentinel first.
Sentinel?
Taking a blindfold Sentinel?
Well, these two can't handle themselves on their own, so I think I'm gonna have to look out for the both of them.
There's going to try his very best not to visibly sigh out loud of relief now that knowing that Sentinel is also coming.
Well,
Darby.
Jamie, unfortunately, I think you're going to be outvoted here on not taking the blindfolds. However, I'm not taking a blindfold till we're at the entrance. No more funny business out of you.
Be fine to give you the blindfold once you make it to the wall, but after we get into the sewers, it's blindfold all the way through.
Come on, Jamie, it's kind of kinky. You know, who's going to wink at him?
It could be fun,
be
you
like-
know?
I'd be more than happy to escort you all to the sewage and watch you guys get blindfolded.
Okay,
Fair
that's
enough.
what we'll do.
All right. So with Brock and his several men, of which you count about 9 that is come with him,
Oh, man, we dodged the ball.
they walk you
We
to
were
Old
gonna
Town.
die.
They walk you through Old Town, through to one of the walls of the circular city of Highwater, and takes 20 minutes to get about there. Unfortunately, Jamie, because they're leading you, you don't get to cut it in half.
Yeah, no, I'm just following.
They make it to the wall, and Brock turns to you all and goes, "Well, we're here at the entrance. Got blindfolds? Come on, boys, give them the blindfolds. It's just gonna be for a moment. You won't feel a thing. No harm's gonna come to you. Nothing stolen. Nothing. No harm. No anything. That is a sliver promise right there, and I'm giving you a sliver promise.
So glad
Insight.
you're so comfortable speaking for your master, and I'm just
Give
gonna
me an
grab
insight.
I want insight on that. What's my insight? Plus 3. It's a 21, man. I'm hot.
Wow.
He seems to be telling the truth, Darby.
Yeah.
I
Good for my
I
keys.
speak for my master when my master lets me speak for him, which is any time that he needs to deal with certain people in Highwater before he wishes to deal with them personally. I'm a messenger, you see. I follow the rules. I accept those rules, and I make sure that they're enforced here in this city. So a lot like you come in here and decide to screw things around a little bit, those rules make sure that they're enforced. I'm being friendly right now, and Sliver's being friendly too. Because we could have burnt you into the ground and killed the lot of you. Understand?
From my perspective, when somebody has to tell you they're being friendly, typically not.
Yeah.
But
Well, now.
I appreciate your candor.
Well, now, isn't that just the grand old conversation of the underworld?
Sure. And I'll grab one of the blindfolds from one of the guys.
So, Mr. Watts, are you going to join us for the blindfold, or would you like to head your way back to the inn? I can send an escort with you.
Oh no, I'm good.
For the blindfold or the escort?
I just say no, I'm good.
Oh, well. Seems Sliva will be welcome in full. It's a shame. I knew he was looking forward to meeting the one that framed him for the entire robbery.
I still have no idea what you're talking.
Oh, I'm sure you don't, Mr. Watts. I'm sure you don't.
They
All
clearly do,
right,
though.
gentlemen. We're going to take a one-way trip to my master. I hope you're real ready to have some fun with him. Because I know he's ready to have some fun with you.
Well, if it's anything like the people I deal with.
Yep, so
Probably won't be
they
that
very
fun.
quickly toss blindfolds on those who wish for them, except for Jamie.
I think I'm gonna tear off my own blindfold of my own cloth and put it around my own eye.
Oh, okay. So Jamie, you blindfold yourself. How is it a straight blindfold, or have you done something to kind of make sure that you can see where you're going?
I don't think I have anything that's like that they wouldn't be able to tell, because I have gauze and stuff, but they'd be able to see that I could see. So I think I would just tear a piece of my cloak off and do it myself.
So you're blindfolded to a point, and Brock sees this. He stops. He gives you a bit of a pat on the shoulder. Jamie goes, "I knew you'd play ball a little bit there. You know what this is all about. We're from the same side of the country. We're all good." And
I'm not responding.
Okay. And with that, the guard begins to lead you through the wall and down a flight of stairs, of which none of you can see out of as the blindfolds block your line of sight.
I'm spending all my time counting steps and turns.
The exact same thing. I was to say, I'm going to do my damnedest to count every single one of my steps and then what turns we have. So I'm not sure if you
there are many turns throughout this journey to Sliva's lair. Left, right, left, 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 straight, left, right, 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 left, 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 right, right, right. It is a constant barrage of steps, which I will say, Jamie, you are okay. Arthur, I'm going to need a perception check from you.
This is what I do.
Yeah.
Perception, you said?
Yes. Jamie, I will say you have mapped this out.
15.
Arthur, you're not able to. You lose track about halfway through. But Jamie, due to your urchin background, you were able to kind of map out the path. Whether that path is 100% right or not, you don't know, but you've mapped something out that they have taken you.
I've mapped the way that they've taken me down, which means I can re-engineer the way out. It might not be the fastest way out, but I know how to go back the way we've come.
As you end your path, you hear a large door open in front of you, and your blindfolds are removed. Before you is a grand meeting room, well furnished and homey, despite being in the city's bowels. Sitting in a red chair, a small hobbling is tearing at some chicken and surrounded by several guards. Above you, there is a balcony that circles the entire room. More guards tower above and watch you. The hobbling looks up, shakes his head, and says, "Well, so this is what I got to work with." And if you'd like to see what Sliva looks like, I have pictures.
Did you say he's eating chicken?
Nice. He's eating chicken.
How does Sentinel react to this? Is it very
I'm not a chicken. We've talked about this.
He's not a chicken.
So there's Sliva.
Oh, that's awesome.
I expected him to be smaller.
My wife's inspiration was Danny DeVito.
Nice.
Yeah, you can really see the Danny DeVito.
I was gonna say it was almost if Danny DeVito was from the Dark Crystal. That's so cool.
Yes.
Dark Crystal Danny DeVito.
So Sliva's ripping in his chicken. He kind of glances up and he goes, "Oh, it's you guys! Oh, I've been looking to talk to you for a while now." Throws his chicken down. You know what I hate? You know what I hate more than anything? These chicken packets. You order these chicken packets from around Highwater, they never give you enough damn slaw. I want more slaw, damn it. I want more slaw in my chicken packet. But they don't have chicken slaw in my chicken packet. It pisses me off. It's what I want. In this city, gold, riches, women. All I want is some slaw. And they don't give me any damn slaw in my chicken packets. what's a crime lord supposed to do? Well, anyways, glad you guys could make it.
I'm glad you have your priorities.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Sure. We were actually heading here
Yeah,
before
we actually wanted to talk to you ourselves.
your friend, your underling, who this Brock character decided to accost us.
Well, I'm really glad we kind of were on the same page there. Because if we weren't, I was going to be a little upset about that. But, it just let us know that great minds, we all think alike in this world. And I got to say,
I suppose.
great minds, Dr. Jamie Lee Watt. After Lord Bosch's manner, beautiful. Framing my gang, beautiful. I loved every second of it.
I literally have no idea what you're talking about.
Of course you don't. You never know what I'm talking about. Everyone, you fucking gods up there, gods down here, your friends. I want everyone to give them a big round of applause because no one fucking knows what's going on with it. Come on. Big round of applause. Here's the thing about all that. So, Governor Core and Captain Cromley, they get word about all that stuff. All that me breaking in with my people, stealing stuff from Lord Bosch. Bosch gets mad, he goes to the guard, he says, people stole from me, you're Sliva's gang. And then they come to me and they say, Sliva, you ain't supposed to steal from the nobles, you're supposed to steal from the poor people. And I say, Captain Cromley, I didn't steal from any rich people. That's not part of our thing. I rule the first and second layers. I don't rule the third layers. You guys rule the third layers. Well, then they say to me, well, no, you stole from them. We found your sigils and your weapons and whatever the hell you put in there. It is a beautiful, absolutely beautiful setup, if I have to ask me. What do you think that does to me when you go in there and you start setting me up for things?
Messes up your reputation for sure.
Yeah.
Well, my reputation's it's a pretty solid thing. A little bit of sweet talking, a little bit of money grease. I convinced all of them that it wasn't me, it was someone else. But there's the kicker. A little bit of money, a little bit of money becomes a medium amount of money, becomes a great amount of money, becomes a lot of money. And when I lose a lot of money, I get angry. Angry like I get when I don't get slaw in my chicken packets. Not enough slaw, because I love slaw in my chicken packets.
I'm sure you
so, here's the thing. Do you understand why I'm angry right here, Dr. Watts?
I think it was something about chicken packets.
That's part of it.
That seems to be the main. That seems to be the main bit here of this scary speech.
Do you understand the other reason I'm upset, though?
I'm gonna guess your underlings have poor hygiene?
Dog. Yeah, a little bit of a scummy son of a bitch from what I've understood. The A's! That's what I've heard anyways.
Yeah, something like
you understand why I'm upset?
About money. It's always money. It's always money with these
it's always about money.
Yeah.
Money, gold.
Probably.
You know what? It was right on the tip of my tongue.
So close.
Should have guessed that.
Definitely chicken packets too, though. Something about chicken and slaw.
I know the slaw is the most important bit of all this.
And the slaw is the most important thing. Slaw is very inexpensive for these places to produce. I've watched them produce it. It's a bunch of cabbage, and they put a dressing on it, and they mix it up. And they put it in a little cup, and they give that little cup to you in the chicken packet. The problem is, I am a very hungry hobbling. So I get a breast, and a chicken thigh, and a chicken leg. And that's a lot of fried chicken to eat. But the slaw packet they give me is very small. It's like this big.
Ooh.
I want a larger slaw packet. That's the problem here.
We'll see if we can arrange that at the local shops.
That would be wonderful, actually. You would have a lot of grace from my organization if you could convince those cheap slaw bastards over there.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Mr. Sliva. It's not doing a whole lot for the menacing speech bit of this part that you can't get the amount of slaw that you'd like. It seems
Sorry.
that's. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. You would think
No,
that you would get
I
the exact
understand.
amount of slaw that you would like.
I
But
That's
I
it
true.
happens.
sometimes I get really upset about my slaw. I get
Yeah.
really upset about my churros. I
Mm.
really like food. That's really the big kicker here. I just
No,
love
okay.
food.
All
He's a
right. Well,
luckiest.
this was a
Well,
nice.
how's this
I'll be
for
able to
menacing?
recommend you some food. There's a
Yeah.
pizza joint here.
Oh,
in
Pazzo's Pizza is fantastic. I have it
That-
delivered at least once a week. It's fantastic.
Now, have you had the Dale Special?
I've heard of the Dale
It's
special, and I plan on
amazing.
ordering it tomorrow night. I heard it's phenomenal.
Good
Oh,
move.
it's
Good
the
move.
best.
Great.
We had it the other
Yeah,
night. It was
I'm a-
amazing.
I'm a big fan of.
And
that
still stinks a little
thing.
bit from the anchovies, but other than that,
Let me, Dr. Watts, Arthur, Darby, Darian, Sentinel, if I'm not coming across as menacing enough, threatening enough, I very much apologize for that. You know, I don't talk to a lot of people. Sometimes the governor, sometimes the captains and the guards.
Don't have to apologize to me.
Oh,
This,
no.
this can be a cordial
yeah,
conversation.
we can
need
work
to come
together.
find
We
you.
don't have to
It's
be
a
at
thoroughly
odds.
cordial conversation, but I want to make sure that my menacingness is coming across for all
Oh,
of you.
course.
Since there
Yes,
seems to be
yes, I
a
know,
question of how much menace I can have, and that upsets me because I consider myself a menacing guy. It says so on my crime lord profile on the
Of
Magical
course,
Network.
yes.
I'm a very menacing crime lord, and I have to uphold that reputation.
I'm gonna. If you're looking for some pointers, most of the crime lords that I have met, they don't have to call themselves crime lords. It's a bit redundant.
Well, in
so-
fairness, I know a couple
just-
that are
You're
very
just a
open.
lord.
Dude,
and
the
you
guy
just
has
happen
been
to
nothing
be a
but
lord
menacingly
Yes.
pleasant. Why are you giving him a
crime.
hard time?
Pleasantly
Yeah.
Well,
menacing.
I'm just
I
saying.
have
he's
an
a-
option here, if it'll
he's
help with the
a-
menacing thing just a little bit. How do you feel? You know, I was talking to some of my guys. They like to walk around the city a whole lot and stuff.
Of
They pick
course.
up different things from me. And they heard about this new place right across from Pazzo's Pizza, bit of an eyesore called, it's called the Zafar Inn.
Well, it certainly is an eyesore still. It's not quite done being fixed.
How would the lot feel like if, that eyesore went away? If maybe the gang torched it and put a nice latrine there instead of the inn?
Well,
I like
that's,
the idea of a toilet.
I can tell you for a fact that there will be a very angry ghost. He will not be very happy that you did that, but
I don't much care for ghosts.
Yeah, it's
I've
Well,
paid some ghosts off before. It's not that
he
big
likes
a
to
deal.
throw cups at people. That's all I
Oh.
know.
Well,
Hopefully he throws cups
now
full
we've
of
moved
Yeah,
slime.
on.
right.
Now
Some
we've
slaw
moved on
cups, maybe.
to veiled threats. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
we're-
What
we're-
is,
we're
I'm
working
glad
our
we're
way.
working this out, getting the getting
Let's
the
get-
relationship
let's get
between
right
boss
to
and
the
lackey. It's
Yeah,
nice,
so
nice
you
to
we
see.
can-
say
guys, can we take a step back here? All right, Sliva, you're a crime lord. You do bad shit. Whatever, it's your hustle. I respect it. However, we give people shit all the time for being completely, blatantly fucking rude to people, and we're over here undermining everything this dude's saying when he's been cordial enough to invite us here and talk this out when we clearly
Darian.
did something wrong. Let's be
Darian.
totally honest
Darian.
here. We
I said-
framed
I
somebody
said-
for a crime.
I
said
understand
veiled
where you're
threat.
coming
I didn't
from.
say
Darian.
idle. I said veiled threat. I understand that he's threatening us and he means to pull through with it. I was just saying he did it in a way that was more veiled. Instead of said, "I'm gonna kill you all and ruin your lives," he was kind of like, "What do you
Too
think about
messy.
this?" It was the way
Yeah.
he was presenting
Yes.
it. I was
Which is
not
fine, but why
insulting
can't
him.
we just let him get his 2 cents out there before we start undermining his
Well,
obsession over
I'm
slaw?
waiting
me,
for him to
Arthur,
get
and
it.
Jamie, we're all from Igarith,
I'm
so
just waiting for
we
him to
have a
get
lot
to the
of
bit.
we've got a lot of dealings with these
Okay, well,
kinds,
Sliva, clearly you need to be a little bit more blunt and to the point with my friends here.
Yes.
Can you
especially Dr. Jamie.
we'll work on the slaw thing because I agree with you. That's total
That
bullshit.
is a
You
little
should get more
absurd,
slaw
though,
with your
honestly.
chicken.
If you're ordering 3
But
things of
let's
chicken, you
just
should at
skip
least
the
get 3
slaw
cups.
talk. Let's skip the veiled threats. Make your actual threat. Tell us what the problem is and how we can resolve it. Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you. That's all
Let's
I'm
just get this
talking
meeting
about.
out.
Perfect.
on the
This will be
books.
real simple then. So you stole a ton of money from Lord Bosch under the name of my gang, correct?
No,
Yes,
that is
Jamie
accurate,
did
yes.
indeed frame your gang.
I have no
Beautiful.
knowledge
Thank
of this.
I do. I have knowledge, and so do a lot of people.
Yes,
Let's move on.
we all
That's
do.
good money. That's good money that I've had to
Well, that's
spend
good money.
to clear things up.
Agreed.
I'd like half of it.
Okay, well, here's the thing. We gave half of it away to orphans, which is the whole reason we did the heist.
Oh,
We're kind of looking out for the little guy. But I do agree. What we did was definitely fundamentally wrong, putting your image in that crime. I'll work my best to repay it, but I can tell you right now, I do not have that amount of money on me right now. As for what the rest of these guys are saying, I have no idea. I don't know what their coifers are looking like right now, but I don't have that kind of money.
Well, I have another option you could take, unless Darby has something different to say.
I was gonna say I'm a bit of a hustler, a gambler. I'm sure you've heard. Right? I'm good at getting coin from people. Perhaps we don't need to spend our money, but you can enlist at least me to help repay some of that and maybe bring a little bit of extra coin in from maybe not necessarily the lower layers, some of the higher layers, without it being too directly linked to you.
You're saying you're gonna gamble and bring some money into me?
Yeah, just a little bit of extra, you know.
What do you have?
Things cordial between them.
You said you had an idea.
Well, money go. I understand if you've already spent the money. Trust me, I would have stolen it and spent it already. I got a cloth toilet seat in my master bathroom because the little Sliva buns, they don't do well on hard toilet seats. You understand?
Oh, fuck's sake.
So I would have spent the money on something like that. How about a truce between me and between some fellow shady underbelly folks like yourself? My men can come into the Zavar Inn as they need to. Use it as a bit of a rest and relaxation place. Bit to discuss business. Plan business. And we call it even.
Can we get a Sliva guarantee that there will be no harm befalling other patrons while business is being discussed or planned?
My men never harm anyone unless I tell them to. That's a Sliva guarantee right there. Now, if there's someone at your inn that I've told them to harm, you can, by God, gut them like a pig right in the fucking tap room.
No.
Put it out their entrails, but those are just the guarantees.
I would like to, in that case, slightly change that deal. No harm to anyone on our property. They want to do it out in the street outside? Whatever. That's not our business.
How about rough and tumble tussles that lead to
A bar
beating
fight?
up someone, dragging them outside, and then pulling their entrails out and scattering
Bar
them?
fights are totally fine.
As long
that
as
happens.
it's not, if it's not in the bar.
As long as
when
there
the
are no
person is
murders
dead.
on our
I
premises.
prefer it wasn't around the bar. We do have to try to attract patrons, and if we're
I mean, Terry, and bar fights happen. People get drunk, they get angry, they beat each
It's
other
a big
up.
city. Bar fights happen.
It happens
a
all
lot.
the time.
You
Especially when you
should've seen
cheat people out of their money, they like to get a little aggressive with you.
You should have seen the bar fight a few years ago between the former champion and some big old beast folk person. Almost killed him.
I'm somehow not surprised.
Which, speaking of which, about the former champion, none of you would happen to be in the market for a divine giant forge, would you?
Anthony,
Oh.
I need one.
What?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
I didn't know you had one.
It's been shrunk. It's miniature. I've been trying to pawn it off for the last 2 years and haven't found a buyer yet. So, you know, if you find someone who wants to buy a divine giant forge, Sliva's got it.
Okay.
That's ironically
Durag knows. Last of the giants, holy blacksmith to the goddess, his forge, shrunken down with a spell.
Not at the moment.
It's in the warehouse.
No,
It's very hard to move.
I
I go to
definitely
the
know
pawn
someone that would
shops.
like it.
And they want to give me like 15 gold
Ugh.
for it because they don't know what it's worth.
No,
It's
but-
pathetic.
My character does not know someone, but I know someone that would love it.
Well,
Not at the moment.
No,
I guess
I don't know. anyone
if
that
I don't want to speak for the group here, but if that's the deal where no murders happen in our bar frame, but other than that, your men are welcome in the tavern. What they do there, planning or toiling, whatever.
We have no
But
business. in it.
it's not going to be free of stay or free drink and booze, but they'll be welcome.
Never
At
think about
least-
free
at
drinking
least-
booze.
At least until your whatever money you lost in whatever situation that you've gotten yourself into is repaid, we'd be more than happy to do that.
Well,
that
you
seems
got
more
me into the situation, I'd like to remind.
That's true.
Again, you keep saying this, and that's great, but what I'm
Jimmy,
saying
he
is
knows more than you in this situation. Stop
Yeah.
denying it.
I literally, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. Those
I'm
antlers
thinking this type
have
of
worked
debt
their
will be
way on
paid
the
off
other
in
side of your brain.
5 to 10 years. How's that sound?
Yeah, 5 to 10 years of a couple of people staying free of charge in a room seems fine to me.
We're not getting.
Oh, I was saying that they're welcome to plan and scheme, and we're not going to rat them out to the guards. I wasn't saying that we wouldn't charge them.
I'm just
You have a
saying that-
business to run. My fuckers can still pay you your lot.
I'm sorry.
No.
I'm just saying.
You really think a
Wait.
crime lord doesn't have enough money for his lackeys to stay at one night
My
at a
lackeys
bar?
get paid a fair wage. They can pay their own drinks.
Oh.
I will say, if I come into the bar though and want a little bit of a drink, I hope it'll be on the house.
If
Oh,
we are
of course.
granted,
Crime
if we are,
buddies and all that.
Yeah, if we're granted your
if we are
beautiful
granted with the
presence.
presence of Silva, we will have a plate of slaw and chicken waiting for you.
Ooh, I want some of that delicious slaw. All right, it
Sure.
sounds like a deal. Well, I'll be gone with you then.
Before
And
we leave,
you! He points at one of his guys. You! Get me more slaw!
we not to overextend our welcome, Sliva, but we do have a couple of questions for you.
That is,
One's
yes.
a
Friend?
personal. One's a
Shoot.
personal question of mine. The other is kind of something the group wanted to originally see you on. The first one is I wanted to kind of let you know that your boy Brock is how do I put this? A bitch, and attempted to take the finger of one of your new friends here. So I just wanted to make you aware, and if there is any a time where Brock receives enough demerits to be inflicted pain, I'd like to be there to watch it. Secondly, we were wondering if you knew of maybe in your employ there's some scuttlebutt around of a Maxine. She may have something that we're interested in. So,
Well, on your first point, I do apologize. I was the one that told Brock to do the whole strong arming, cut off the finger thing. It's worked before. You know, they come here, we put their finger back on. Everyone's happy in the end. So I apologize about that.
it's not so much the finger thing as it's more the way he went about it. He pretended to be our fan, was really sneaky about it. If you're gonna accost me, I'd rather you just be a man and come up front and say, "I'm gonna cut off your goddamn finger."
I mean, we
rather
kind of
than-
are a fan of you. The whole heist thing was fantastic. I mean,
Well,
at some point, if you're
I'm
ever
honored.
in the market, I'd love to hire you onto the gang. It's just beautiful. I mean, it fucked me, but it was a beautiful fucking that I was glad to endure for the time being.
It was entertaining.
good to know.
Good entertainment.
As for your
Okay.
second question, what did you say the doll's name was?
We said Maxine, I believe we were told.
Brock, you know anything about a Maxine? And Brock's, he's kind of standing over there with his spear, and he's like, a Maxine, you say? I think we killed her. Ah, she's probably dead then. Right, killed her. You know how it goes.
Okay.
Why?
Right.
Was there like a
Why
reason
not?
for it?
I mean,
Alright.
Brock, why did we kill this Maxine? Well, there was a whole bunch of servants that were coming on in, and they were acting like, you know, they were spying, and they were doing all this terrible stuff and trying to report us out to the guard, let them know what we were doing. What he said.
Well,
She was doing that.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
And here I thought she might have had the
Business.
crime of being rude. I know how difficult that is for some people to stomach.
I'm
Do
totally
you have a
fine with
body
people
somewhere?
being rude. I don't know who she is. I'm just assuming, you know, you have to understand how these organizations work. Like, I'm at the top, and I got my people, they got their people, and they got the, you know, and kind of goes down the pyramid. Sometimes my people are the people below them. They give orders I'm not aware of. I don't know about a Maxine, but if Brock's saying she's dead, she's probably dead.
Well, I'll turn to Brock. Do you know where where her body would be?
Well, here's just the thing. There's a folk we give here in Highwater who likes to dispose of the bodies into the sewer system for us. Cuts them up all fine. There ain't much left of her, I can assure you.
Wonderful.
And who is that?
I'm not privy to disclose that unless my master tells me.
Sliver?
You mean Thrakus? Whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah, he's some guy out in Butcher Folk or whatever. Yeah, he probably cut her up or whatever. I wouldn't bother him. He's a son of a bitch and kind of annoying. I pay him because he's good at his job, but that's about it.
Understandable.
Well, great.
Cool.
I think that's everything.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, it was an honor meeting all of you. Gotta admit, love the work that you guys have done so far with your heists. If there's ever a heist you gotta do again, that old Sliva in honor, he's always good for a little peanut heist. It kind of works out the muscles and stuff.
Well, I don't know if we'll be able to top the last one anytime soon, but
Fight heist.
Fight Heist was a pretty big deal.
And we tend to rob from the rich rather than rob
Yes.
from the poor.
That's
so.
fine. I rob from the poor, from the rich, merchants, knights, champions. Anyone I can really get my money on, it don't really matter.
Fair enough.
All right, well.
Now, my guys will blindfold you back up and show you the way back out kind of thing. So, I apologize about that. It's a discomfort, I know. Not very hospitable, but it's the whole grandma thing.
Is there a faster way up? Or can we just take the way we came?
I guess I could go and get, the wizard and have him beam you out if you want.
Sure, thanks.
Oh, well, all right. Call it friendly kind of thing. Hey, Brock, go and send one of the guys to get the wizard and have him beam this lad out. Brock's like, I can go get the wizard? Heads out. 10 minutes later, he comes back with this kind of wizard-looking guy, kind of old, frail-looking. He's like, I could perform a teleportation spell if you would like.
Sure.
Where would you like to go in high water?
Back to the inn,
Back to
please.
the tavern again? Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. I'll be in touch with y'all. I'm sure there'll be some real good things to talk about. I don't know, maybe we can sit around, talk about crime, talk about slaw, those kind of things.
See you around, Sliva.
Yeah.
Of
I'm
course.
sure we will.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure I'll be seeing you first. And the wizard casts his spell. Kind of a circle forms around you guys, and you are pop, beamed out. You're out in front of the Zafar Inn.
Quite delightful, that Sliva.
That's not at all what I was expecting.
No,
You guys
I mean-
are ridiculous.
I've dealt with worse.
Also, as you have appeared in front of the Zafar Inn, you notice that the mailbox in front of the inn has the flag turned up on it.
That's interesting.
Looks like we got some mail.
I am going to check the mailbox for traps.
I am going to do.
There are no traps on the mailbox.
I'm going to do the Blue's Clues mail call dance.
We got some mail!
Arthur does the Blue's Clues mail dance. Unfortunately, the mailbox is not sent yet, so it does not. attempt
Well,
to
that's where
mail it.
true polymorph comes in. I knew I've been waiting to use this scroll. Here we go. Sentient mailbox.
Animate object.
Animate object. I want
Be
the
alive.
mailbox to dance.
All right.
Perfect.
So I guess Arthur will walk up to the mailbox unless Jamie's he's already checked for traps. If you want to open it, Jamie, you
Yeah,
can.
I checked for traps, and if there wasn't anything, I guess I'd open it up and take whatever's inside.
No traps. So, Jamie, you pull out an envelope with a letter, and as you flip it over, you see that it bears the seal of the Champion of Highwater.
Oh,
Oh, Jayla.
yeah.
I will open it.
All right, you open it,
Letters.
and in there is a letter, which I am posting into the chat if you would like to read it there, Jamie.
I will read it, and it says the following. Greetings, friends. I hope you are all well and have started settling into high water nicely. I sent this letter to the old Ironside Inn, assuming Joel didn't give you any trouble with my note. If he did, I will be sure to set him straight once I can make it to high water. I regret that it will take a little bit longer before we meet again. The situation here in Bridgetown continues to deteriorate. The working class, under the leadership of Gertie Hookslinger, has decided to openly strike against the merchants. This has led to several violent situations around the bridge, and I have done my best to assist the guard from Pragula in mediating. Things have not been going well. We have our first meeting between Mayor Barry Silverhand and Gertie in a day. It will already happen by the time you receive this letter. I pray to the goddess that it calms the tensions, even for a bit. It seems Gertie has riled up the populace in an attempt to strong-arm Barry. I worry that this could backfire. I will be sure to write soon again and give an update on my travels. Pray you all have fared better till we meet again. Dela. P.S. Also, Aster left a note on the back.
Oh no.
Oh boy, Darian. It looks like you got some mail.
And I would probably stop reading, and then what happened to Ethan?
I'm still here. Am I
Jason-
gone?
No.
Oh, his video isn't on for me. Anyway,
Oh,
I
is
would
it?
That's still good for
yeah. I would walk over to Darian, and say that your girlfriend left a note on the back, and I would enter the inn.
All right. You hand the note to Darian. Darian, I just posted Aster's note to you on the back.
Hey Darian, it's Aster. Hi. Jayla let me write something, so I did. Hi. How are things? I know you can't reply, but I imagine that you're saying they are great and that you've missed me bunches, because I miss you bunches. While Jayla's been working, I've been learning to play Bugbear chess.
Well,
It's a
Yes.
it is very easy because there's only one type of piece, no strategy at all. So anyways, I'm sure you know, but if you don't, we're gonna be a bit late to high water. Sucks, I know. So when I finally get there, we have to like super celebrate. I heard there's a new restaurant that's really, really hard to get into. It's called The Butcher Block. You should get us reservations. Now this is just a suggestion, so if you don't want to, I understand. But I would be totally crushed if we are unable to eat there. So Jayla's giving me the stink eye, so I gotta go. Bye, Darian. I love you. Bye. Can't wait to see you. Bye. Your love, Aster. And then Jayla attempted to cross something out. P.S. I'm not wearing any underwear now. God damn it.
yeah.
Wow.
Looks like you're gonna have
Very
a great
Florida.
time when she shows up.
That's why I did not want to read it.
Good move. Good move.
Oh. Well, if that's
Yeah.
all, I
Yeah.
think it's pretty late now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nighttime at this point, so the party can rest in for the night.
Yeah.
Slumber
I guess
time.
Arthur will turn in.
All right. Would everyone else like to turn in?
No.
I'm trying to think here. I mean, I only need 4 hours.
I need 8.
I might spend some of that and just try to go to like a random place and gamble for a little bit.
All right. You're gonna try to work back that Sliva money.
Well, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, I need money in general. I mean, I got a lot of debts to pay.
Which is why I don't understand you not listening to what I was trying to do. But that
What were you
again,
trying to do?
I was trying to the whole point of me being like, oh yeah, your guys can stay here for free, and we just pay. That will be the payment of our debt, is so that you don't have to come up with that money on your own.
Oh,
it
I
would
don't.
be a long.
I'm not necessarily getting this
payment.
money for Sliva. I'm getting this money for me because I have other people that I have to pay.
But
on
now
a
we have
regular
Sliva
basis.
that we have to pay on a It seemed easier that way.
Well, I mean, who said I was one paying Sliva?
Again,
Our agreement was that he gets to send his people to our tavern for like 5 to 10 years, and they can just plot and scheme, and then we're done.
Scheme, plot.
Yeah, that's it. That was the agreement we made.
There's not going to be any problems with that at all.
No, of course not. We're not going to get in any trouble
sense.
for that, but I don't care.
That doesn't even make any sense as an agreement.
No, but he's the one who made it, so that's
Mm.
who said he was making sense.
Well, yeah, no, I'm checking the inn for any sort of trap or device or anything that someone might have come in and put in here. That's what I'm going to be doing.
Jamie, give me an investigate roll.
Okie dokie.
It's a big 6. And your favorite number all night.
I know, I've been not doing super great.
My dice roll
let's see.
18, 19 all night. It's great.
You've been on fire, Darby.
I know, 18s and 19s. That's the
Let's see if
only
there's
2
anything
numbers
I
I've
can
seen on
do.
my die.
That actually, okay, here we go. Investigation. Chicka. Yes, that's a 24,
Oh, man.
baby.
Wow.
24.
Finally.
So Jamie, as the rest of the party is kind of settling in for the night, you take the time. Well, except for Darby, who's gambling, but
I'm gambling when I
you
come
take the
back.
time to scour the inn for any traps. You do not see any. But as you are scouring the inn and you walk by windows and peer out them, you feel as though there are eyes that are watching the inn.
Makes sense. Okay, cool. That's good to know. And I won't do anything to affect their view or anything.
Yeah.
Always better to be known to be being watched than to have people think that they're something drastic to see inside.
All
Yeah.
right.
Cool. Okay.
Will you go to bed then, Jamie?
Yeah. I'll go to bed after that. After I.
So Darby, you make.
Hey.
Oh, it's pretty good. You make 2 gold in your
Hey.
gambling pleasures.
Nice. That'll add up nicely, and whenever the next time I have payday.
Hey.
And as you all settle in for another night's sleep and move on to day 6 of the inn construction, still have a few more things to do around the city, and that is where we will end tonight's session.
Nice.
Yeah,
We
Gosh,
did
it's
it.
so good.
we did it.
In the thick of it.
Yeah.
So,
on
again,
the
thank
show
you
part.
everyone for coming on out and watching us. For those who
Yeah.
did, hope you enjoyed it. We will be actually on next week. Unfortunately, Darian won't be joining us. He
No.
will be out skis. We are currently in the talks for a special D&D session, maybe in a few weeks. Be more on that in the coming weeks if we decide to do something like that. That would be an extra game we play.
Yeah, we got
Get
the
some
time
more
for it.
stuff done and get with that, but we'll see if that ends up happening or not, schedules and whatnot. So
Yeah.
again, thanks everyone for coming out. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope the players enjoyed it, and we
course.
will see you all next week, Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. See you then, guys.
Peace.